welcome everyone to TJ and the Grumpy Old Man, a twice-a-week sports podcast that takes place every single Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every single Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host, TJ, and with me here, as always, is the Grumpy Old Man. They say there's no shame in his game because he is always the same.
That's me.
Grump, how are you doing this fine Sunday evening?
Good.
Oh, man.
How about you?
Not bad.
How you doing?
Plenty of upsets in college football this week. My God, a lot of games that went right down to the tail end of it on the last play, like we always love to see in any sort of football event. We've got a lot to talk about regarding the NFL this week too. Man, I'll tell you, these targeting / roughing the passer penalties are ridiculous. You're seeing them all across the league sprout up towards it, just like last year where you barely tap somebody, you get thrown a 15-yard penalty. Just nonsense. So we'll have plenty of that to talk about too, as well as the MLB playoffs. The MLB wildcard's been taking place. The Mets fighting it out, duking it out against the Padres right now. Musgrove has a perfect game through 4 innings, I'm sorry, against the Mets. Mets are down 3-0 against the Padres at the top of the fifth. So a lot to talk about today, this evening, Grumpy.
Okay, I'm ready to go. You take the ball, run with it, and I'll say, put me in, coach.
Well, fair enough. I think it would be apropos. I don't know if you happen to see it today. Cristiano Ronaldo scored his 700th career club goal.
That's a lot of goals.
I was about to say, you talk about an unbelievable feat. Oh, well, hold on. Before we get started too much into the show, right? For those of you who are new, let me first invite you to stick around a while. We invite you to subscribe on YouTube, to like on Facebook, and to follow on Twitter. We talk everything sports on this show. Could be MLB, NBA, NFL, college football, NHL, European football, World Cup. We talk anything and everything sports on this show. So again, also, if you enjoy the content, the best way to let us know is by leaving a thumbs up. It lets us know, hey, you enjoy the content that we're putting out there. But yes, Grumpy, Cristiano Ronaldo's 700th career club goal. Marcus Rashford went out with an injury early on today. He goes ahead and pots one past Jordan Pickford to help Man United win 2-1 over Everton today, Grumpy.
He's certainly the greatest player. Okay, I saw Pele, but it was kind of, by the time I saw him, he was kind of past his prime. This guy's the greatest player I've ever seen. He's phenomenal, and as a goal scorer, is second to none, honestly. Just an incredible achievement. Just incredible. Fantastic. I think he scored the most goals in the history of the game now.
How long before you think they try to go ahead and spout that Erling Haaland is the best player in the game because he'll score more goals? How long before you think they start trying to do that?
Okay. Is Haaland going to be playing when he's 37 years old? And here's the thing. Cristiano Ronaldo is not the same player he was 5 years ago. He's not.
Cristiano Ronaldo, he used to be able, even when he was younger, with what he could do on the ball with his feet, with the skill work he had, was for a guy his size, unfreaking real, and the speed at which he moved. It's something Haaland will never be able to do and can't do now. No. The guy is just a goal poacher, and he's extremely talented striker. He's a guy who's got a nose for the goal, and that's about it. He's not very versatile outside of that, and he's a fantastic player. He's no Cristiano. He never will be a Cristiano.
He won't be playing when he's 37 years old.
You don't think so?
Erling Haaland? No, yeah. I do not believe so. I do not believe so. He's already had quite a few injuries in his career. The thing that makes Ronaldo so special is the thing how he's able to change his game. When he first started, he was a winger, right? Because he had unbelievable speed. He doesn't have that speed anymore. And you've seen him morph his game from a guy who could just run past everybody. He's always had tremendous ball skills, still does, but he's not going to run past anybody anymore. So he's transitioned into a more central role where, he can score goals like Haaland does still. But he's also really creative because he's always been able to involve teammates. And you're seeing him still do that. If he played for a better team, he'd have a boatload more assists. I mean, he's just truly a legendary player.
I heard he's as good as gone. And here's the thing. He's as good as gone, I hear, at the transfer window.
Absolutely.
And I'm happy about that too. What he's done Ten Hag, what he's done by just saying, "Oh, you serve such an important role for us." Yeah, he just plays the Europa League games. That's
He
it. Every other time he just sits on the bench and never gets played. Hey, you're just playing Europa League. So, I mean, like what they've done to him this season is just it's
he's op
disgraceful. It's
Ten Hag
disgraceful.
Ten Hag's openly sabotaged him. He wanted to leave before the season started. Chelsea's ownership wanted him desperately.
Yes.
Ten Hag and the former Chelsea coach, because they played
Tuchel.
so poorly,
Yeah.
Thomas Tuchel, they're friends. And Ten Hag said to Tuchel, well, he's not going to work with your system. So Tuchel said, I don't want him. Tuchel loses his job because they're underperforming. Why? Because they can't score goals, something Cristiano can still do. He's gone, right? He's gone. And they're saying that Chelsea is the team that's looking for him. I don't understand why they just didn't move him. Now, to Ronaldo's credit, you haven't heard him say anything in the press negative about Man
And he
United.
definitely has every single day and every single chance he could do something like that every single time.
I mean, I look at just the players that Man United has on team. They're faster players, but they're nowhere near as good. Even now, he's the most talented player on that team. Like I said, he was done wrong there. I told you last year when he signed with Man United, I said, that's a mistake for him. I was the first one to say it. Absolutely no, he should not sign there. And I was proven right.
Oh, Grumpy has. I was proven right.
Once again.
No, look at you.
Grumpy. It was a bad fit. It was a bad fit. Man United's a terrible team. They're just terrible.
You talk about teams that have struggled. Holy shit, has Liverpool struggled this year?
Yeah.
They're going from, what is it, 3 seasons where they're right up at the top competing for the title every single year in, year out, to where it's like, hey, we're mid-table.
They'll be up in the top 6 again before the season's over. Probably top 4. They'll make Champions League. But right now, they're just in bad shape. I think Jurgen Klopp is a great coach. I just think that they've just run with the same players for so long that it's time to move on from some of those guys.
I think it hurts you lose Sadio Mane, and what do you do to replace him? I mean, here's the thing. Nunez is nowhere near on equal playing field. Luis Diaz is, I mean, like, I don't know. You look at the summer transfer window for them, not great. Not a great window, in my opinion. They've had some really stellar windows in the past, not a great one for them.
Yeah, unfortunately they're, with the English Premier League, they get all that TV money. So they just throw wild amounts of money at players trying to put a fantasy team together. It's not how you build a really good team. It just isn't. The smart organizations don't just buy the best players. They sign players who fit into their system, or they see something that's going to be an issue within a year or so. So they'll backfill now, let the guy learn a system, and then just be able to step in. Those are the teams that are really good year after year after year. I'm talking about the Bayern Munichs, the Real Madrids. Those are the type of teams I'm talking about.
Well, I think it's good. It's a good segue, right? We'll still get some I guess some British chants coming in, but in the form of an NFL venue. Today, the early game was the Green Bay Packers against the New York Giants. The New York Football Giants is Grumpy. Look at him. Look at him. He wears his Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and now he's wearing his New York Giants. Look at Grumpy. My goodness gracious.
Hey,
he's out here.
If I was going to wear a Giants shirt this year, now's the time. They're 4-1. Brian Daboll has done a great job. He's done a great job with them.
He's a good coach.
I don't think the Packers are all that great. I don't think they're that well coached. But I think Brian Daboll has done a wonderful job getting Daniel Jones in the Josh Allen role, if you will, with a lot of designed runs. They've looked better. Saquon Barkley's looked really good, even with the wide receiver core that's banged up. And their defense is stellar. I mean, I think he's done, for a first-year head coach, I think he's done a great job with the Giants. And I told you that was a really good hiring for them. I'd feel better if they had maybe a Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback, but they would not be able to run this type of offense with Jimmy Garoppolo. That's for certain.
And well, here's the thing too. When you look at what they've done, it's on a team that really didn't have too much moving and shaking to begin this year. I mean, obviously, a healthy Barkley helps. They added pieces on the defensive side of the ball. I don't think they're necessarily as good as their record would indicate, but they're a good squad. There's no doubt about that. But here's some chance outside of that, outside of that game from when the New York Giants played the Packers this morning. Oh, good gracious, good
Is
gracious.
it me or is Aaron Rodgers just a guy without really big weapons around him?
He's got no weapons. I think that's right. He hasn't been as good. I agree. He hasn't been as good without Devontae Adams. I'd even say without Valdez Scantling too. I mean, like, he wasn't a huge part of the puzzle for them. But I mean, like, both of those players played their roles. You lose both of them, and you replace them. You say, here you go, Lazard. Here you go, Chris Watson. You're the guys, and it's just kind of like, ugh.
Romeo Dubes.
Was that
Romeo Dubes is another guy.
Okay, it's bad when I'm having to say who. Exactly. Yeah. Because he's a no-name for the most part, right? He's not a guy who's a household name. He's not a guy who has, a track record to say, yeah, I've performed. I've continued to show that, hey, I'm adequate at the NFL level. He hasn't looked good. He has not. That team has struggled, the Green Bay Packers, this season.
Yep. And they would have lost to Tampa Bay if Tampa Bay had any wide receivers out there.
Yeah. I mean, Tampa Bay today was like, oof, I don't know.
They were up 21-0, and all of a sudden, it's, like I said, they're poorly coached. That's their biggest issue, is they're poorly coached. And I think you've seen that. I mean, 21-0. They let Atlanta just crawl back into the game somehow. Brady played well. Still a lot of drop passes. I'm just not happy with where they are. Their offensive line, the interior of their offensive line, is just not any good.
Yeah, and I tell you, Grumpy, I'm sorry, my camera just keeps screwing up and it's pissing me off something fierce. So I'm going to get fixed here in a second. But when you look at the teams around the league, there's been a lot of teams that have really struggled this year.
Rams.
And, the Rams specifically. They're a team that, right? Look at what they did all off season long. Oh, this guy was going to quit. Oh, I'm thinking about retiring. I'm thinking about doing this. I'm thinking about doing that. They come back and they sign their big extra paychecks or their big extensions, and they restructure contracts. And they've looked not like the same Rams team we've seen in years past. 2-3, and today's loss against Cooper Rush. I mean, yikes, Cooper Rush and the Dallas Cowboys. But hey, Cooper Rush, 5-0. 5-0, Grumpy, since being a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Well, he's 4-0 this year, and he won one game last year. But I'm going to say, I'm just counting this year. He's 4-0. I mean, I know Jerry Jones says, there's no way Dak Prescott doesn't get his job back. I mean, you're riding a hot hand right now, aren't you? Until he loses.
I mean, Cooper Rush is not okay. They're winning. They're not winning because of Cooper Rush, though, right? We can agree on that.
True, but maybe the guys just kind of believe in him a little bit. You win a lot. It kind of built. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not saying he's the greatest quarterback. He's able to make throws when he has to, and I think the team has rallied around him. We've seen it before, where guys who are less talented, teams kind of rally around that guy, where maybe somebody who has more athletic ability or more ability, period, they don't feel as warm and fuzzy about him. I remember Billy Kilmer leading the Washington Redskins to a Super Bowl when they had Sonny Jurgensen as their starting quarterback. He hurts his leg, and he breaks his leg, and then Kilmer comes in, leads him to a Super Bowl, wound up losing to the undefeated Dolphins at that time. But, you look at guys like that. The Raiders used to have that. Darryl Monaco was starting quarterback. George Blanda would come in every week and lead them to victory down the stretch. The team rallied around George Blanda. It's just, I mean, I just wonder if maybe that's the case with Cooper Rush as well.
Yeah, but look at it like this too. The guy, I mean, a week in, week out, it's like you have to rely upon so many other factors in order to help them win. it's like, hey, we have to go ahead and do so much more when it comes down to, our game plan, our strategy. And it's, they're in a situation where is that sustainable long term? Is it sustainable to be so reliant upon your defense, so reliant upon your run game, so reliant upon? I mean, they've definitely been fortuitous at times as well. A lot of things have gone their way. I just don't think it's sustainable to say, yeah, we want to continue to count upon that. Dak Prescott's a much better quarterback than Cooper Rush. The reason what I was thinking here too, I mean, D-Cott had mentioned this a week or so ago, but who is the first dumb general manager to try to go ahead and sign a guy like Cooper Rush as like, this could be our guy. He could be our quarterback.
I don't think he's close to that yet. Not even close. Not even close. I just don't see that in him. Just don't. I don't think anyone's. I don't think anyone's gonna say I have to have Cooper Rush. I'm gonna sign. I mean, no, he hasn't played enough. I just don't see that.
All righty, fair enough, Grumpy.
Now here's the thing: if he winds up playing the rest of the year and leads him to a Super Bowl, yeah, then somebody would do it.
I just think to myself, I'm like, guys have been awarded opportunities for less. And just like you had mentioned, right, they're winning games, but they're in a situation where, they're not fantastic. He's not looking great, but they're still winning games.
That's all that matters, isn't it?
Well, I think there's going to be somebody who takes a chance. I think about like Tim Tebow. Tim Tebow was not a good quarterback. And when he was out, right, they had immediate suitors lining up. Oh, yeah, let's give Tim Tebow a role. Let's give Tim Tebow a chance. Tim Tebow was never a great quarterback. Great guy, not a good quarterback.
But he never got that chance.
What do you mean?
He was in Denver. He never got a chance to be a starter anywhere else. He was just in Denver. He was the first-round draft pick for Denver.
He was a starter. He played he played for the Jets. He played a few different places after.
Yeah, but he wasn't a starter there. He wasn't the starter. He was a backup anywhere else he went. I mean, the only place he was
call you on this.
The only place where he was legitimately a starter was Denver. He wasn't a very.
He started 2 games. He started 2 games for the Jets and had 8 passing attempts.
Yeah, he wasn't the starter. You know what I'm saying? He's not. Oh, he's our starter. No, that was not the case with him.
Okay, that's a guy though that they won in spot. Okay, looking back through Tim Tebow's stats, my God, are they bad? They're hard to look at, man. I mean, like you look at the what?
Yeah, whenever I look at Kenny Pickett's stats, that's what I think.
Kenny Pickett's going to have better stats than Tim Tebow.
Okay.
I'll tell you, I mean, like 7-4. I do remember he would come off with these late game heroics every single time and win games. A 46.5% completion percentage, 1,700 yards in the season he was a starter, 12 touchdowns and 6 picks. My God. He was throwing for like a little over 150 yards a game, right around 150 yards a game with 12 touchdowns and 6 picks. Yikes.
But the guys rallied around him. See, that's what I mean. It was not a great quarterback, but he had a certain something that he was a winner. He was a winner, and guys rallied around him. And that's what I mean by, is Cooper Rush maybe one of those guys with Dak Prescott? I just hear Jerry Jones saying, well, when Dak's ready to go, he's automatically the starter. Well, I mean, do you want to upset the apple cart? Or maybe you say to the head coach, hey, let's make sure that Dak's 110% before we take Cooper Rush out.
I was about to say, it's not like we need to rush to get Dak Prescott back in the lineup. If you're in a situation where it's like, hey, we're 1-4 or we're 2-2, maybe it's, or 2-3, maybe it's a little different. But I mean, you're 4-1. You kind of have the luxury to say, okay, well, let's go ahead and continue this going. We're not going to rush you back, Dak. We're going to make sure your throwing hand is up to full capabilities and the strength and everything's built back. We're waiting until you're ready to go.
Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I mean, the team seems behind him. The one guy who gets no action with Cooper Rush is Dalton Schultz. The tight end is like invisible with Cooper Rush. And how I know?
How do you know, Grumpy?
He's on a couple of my fantasy teams that 0 points the last 2 weeks. I picked up another tight end this week to sub in because I was afraid. And guess how many points he got?
0.
Tyler Conklin's been doing great. Guess who doesn't throw to him? Zach Wilson. 0. How can you win in fantasy football if your tight ends are giving you 0 points every week?
The Jets, speaking of the Jets laid the ass whooping on the Dolphins today, Grump.
They played extremely well. Now,
Hey,
Teddy Bridgewater, um, I don't know, maybe it's something in the water down there in Miami. One play, knocked out of the game. They brought in somebody, Bubba something or other.
Skyler something, I think.
Whatever. Skylar Thompson, that's his name.
Yep, Skyler
Uh,
Thompson.
and he looked terrible. There was somebody on this podcast saying how great he was last week. He was exposed today. And let me tell you something. Let's give the Jets some credit. Breece Hall's the real deal at running back. He's the real deal. You're seeing Michael Carter more as a backup role now, which is where he should be. I thought Zach Wilson played better again this week. I like the Jets' defense is coming on, of course, albeit against the Dolphins, who were depleted the quarterback situation.
The Dolphins' defense was woeful, and that's more where I'm like, yikes, dude. You talk about the no fight. Where's the fight from the defense today? Because the Jets team offensively has been relatively anemic this season. They haven't been like, oh man, we got to watch out for the Jets. They're a juggernaut on the offensive side of the ball. I was not expecting the freaking Jets to hang 40 points against the Dolphins defense. I was kind of shocked by that.
They had they got some turnover advantages and stuff like that too, which helped them out. But you got to cash in on that, right? And I think that's Zach Wilson, because to me, Zach Wilson is one of those guys who has the it factor. That's the way he played at BYU, and he's one of those gunslinger types. You got to live and die with that sometimes. So right now, 2 weeks in a row with him at quarterback, a couple of big victories, beating Pittsburgh, a bad Pittsburgh team, but a pretty good Miami team. Is it too late for me to say Miami's probably not going to make the playoffs after I proclaimed
you flip-flopping again?
I proclaimed them as a playoff team 2 weeks ago. I think they still have a shot to make the playoffs, but they need to get healthy at the quarterback position.
You're not kidding there, dude. I mean, that's a game, right? The Jets 3-2 to start this year. A tough start to the season, 3-2.
You had the New England Patriots throttle the Detroit Lions today. Now, there was a member of the Lions. I don't know what the results were on him. He something happened on the field where he just kind of bumped into somebody, and he was just down and out on the field. They had to bring an ambulance out there.
His neck or something like that. They were worried about a neck injury.
I mean, I think his dad came out of the stands to go with him to the hospital. It was a very touching scene. I find those things very, very emotional when you see that type of thing. And I mean, you just wonder what effect that had on the Lions for the rest of the game. I think it's devastating when you see a player have something on your team, have something like that happen. And they got throttled by New England today. Just throttled. Yeah. They were the highest scoring team in the NFL going into today, and they got shut out.
Yeah. And I mean, again, it didn't help. There's no DeAndre Swift in the lineup either. Jared Goff looked awful today, per usual. And you look at, the Patriots, the third string quarterback, Bailey Zappi.
Bailey Zappi.
I mean, he leads the Patriots to another victory.
They're able to play defense. The Patriots are able to play defense, and they can run the ball.
Absolutely.
And Bailey Zappi, you know what? He looks just as good as Mac Jones looks.
Yikes. Mac Jones. Man, I tell you.
Jacoby Myers had a big day today.
Yeah, he did.
You know how I know that? He was on some other fantasy team.
Oh, my God.
Somebody slid in right in the money league. Terrible.
You never shut up about the damn fantasy teams, Grump. Jesus H. But yeah, so I mean, you look at that, I think that they struggled. The Chargers and the Browns game was a lot closer than I thought too. I mean, I don't know what I was expecting from that, but the Browns came out freaking firing. And this is I think a good transition and segue here into the week of phantom roughing the passer or phantom targeting calls that happen and that litter the field, because there were quite a few of them today. And there was one that cost, and I'm happy it didn't cost the Chargers the game, but I want you to watch the play, and I'll let you be the judge as to whether you think this is worth a 15-yard personal foul penalty on third down, third and goal, which is it. What happens is, you could see here, Jacoby Brissett throws an incomplete pass. I just want you to watch this play here, and I want you to be the judge as to whether you think this is a personal foul penalty here, Grumpy.
Push, Probably a decent act, and it's just a little push.
Probably not. Probably not.
And Tony Romo's talking about probably a decent acting job. I'm talking about how you have to win the Emmy to be out there. I'm like, you see this type of shit.
Okay. But here's what I'm going to say. The players know that ball's gone. That ball's gone. 1, 2.
One step. He puts his hands on him.
He didn't have to, though.
He puts his hands on him. He's standing straight up and down. Jacoby Brissett gets his hands on him. He's literally going to the side. Jacoby Brissett's like, okay, got tapped a little bit. Oh, I see the ball's incomplete. Okay, gotcha.
Okay, here's the thing. Everybody knows the rules. You cannot touch the quarterback unless when that ball's gone. You just can't do it. Why did the NFL? Why is it that much? Why is it so easy to get that penalty? Because remember a few years ago, how many quarterbacks would get knocked out all the time? What is the only thing the NFL cares about? We're going to go on this again. Money, TV ratings. If you have the best players, the quarterbacks are sitting on the shelf and you're playing Bailey Zappies and
they're playing freaking Jacoby Brissett here for the Browns, Grumpy. People aren't tuning in to watch Jacoby Floppy Brissett.
Okay. But you think they were going to want to play Joe Dots and not Jacoby Brissett? You think
Jacoby
they want
Brissett
really
is Joe
bad?
Maybe he's not Joe Dots, but he's two-string Jimmy. He's nothing, Grumpy.
Yeah, he's the backup. But here's the thing. It's not like the rules are different. You can't hit the quarterback because if they knock out a whole bunch of quarterbacks in season, it's a miserable year for the NFL.
You know what I wish happens? When they flop like this, they can review it and they just, boom, out of the fucking game. This type of shit here, I've got no use for. He barely gets touched and he just, my legs collapse from underneath me.
Maybe he was off balance to begin with.
Yeah, that's it. He was off balance.
Okay, here's the thing. The Charger guy never should
down fine. He barely gets tapped and he's like, oh, okay, gotcha. He literally he's able to, he could put his foot on the ground. But he said, I'm actually going to go ahead and just fall.
Oh, look at that. He fell down.
Yeah, look at that. And he just happens to be like, I'm just going to land on my elbow. Oh, I'm hurt so much. Dude, immediate, boom, bam, game misconduct. I mean, I'm happy it didn't cost. Here's the thing. If that costs the Chargers a game because of some bullshit freaking roughing the passer penalty, guys need to lose their jobs. There was another roughing the passing penalty, Grumpy, that didn't have, I would say, direct impact on the game, Grump, but was with your boys, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm giving away too much of what we're going to talk about, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Grumpy. I don't know if you happen to see it. There was a few things that happened in the Buccaneers game today. Oh shit! I don't want to give too much.
I know the penalty you're going to talk about. You're going to talk about the blatant missed pass interference down at the 10, the play before the roughing the passer penalty.
No. Okay, that's not what I'm talking about, Grumpy. I'm talking about the roughing the pass. All I'm saying is, holy shit. You have to be able to let a guy defend or play freaking defense. There's a fine line. Like this
here's the thing. Watch what he does. Watch what he does. He could just take him down, but no, he wants to do that's right, the slam in the ground. That's going to get flagged every freaking time. He slams him into the ground. You cannot slam the quarterback into the ground. And that's what he did. He absolutely Grady. Was it Jackson's his last name?
Jarrett,
I'm sorry. Grady Jarrett knew exactly what he's doing. He didn't have to sling him and ride him over the top like that. He did it on purpose, try to knock him out of the game. That's what he tried to do.
Oh, my God.
I thought you were going to talk about the play right before that where Scotty Miller catches the ball right down the field out of bounds, but the defensive back was hanging all over him, no flag. It would have been 1st and 10, 1st and goal at the 9-yard line, and they didn't throw that flag. This play never would have happened.
Well, Twitter is freaking out over this play because it's like, oh my God, this is the worst roughing the passer call I've ever seen. And they're all over the place because it's Tom Brady. But I'm like, did they not see just earlier on that day the roughing the passer penalty that happened to Jacoby Brissett, who was tapped and his freaking feet fell out from underneath him? And this is like, I don't know, and just in general, roughing the passers, the unsportsmanlike conduct, just over the top. Over the freaking top, man.
He didn't need to sling him around doing a wrestler move there. That was his issue. If he just would have taken him straight down instead of trying that's the one that got it for him right there. Let's give him let's give him the death roll. Let's do that.
Can you go ahead and put your Tampa Bay Buccaneers jersey on when you're talking, or shirt when you're talking about that? Maybe your Buccaneers hat.
Don't do it. You know what the rules are. Don't do it. Those are the rules.
You know what the rules
If
are.
Tom Brady comes up with a dislocated shoulder or a broken arm, you know what? The NFL's screaming. They're screaming. You want to know why? Because TV ratings are going to be down. That's what happens. That's why that rule's in effect. It's not the 1970s. It's not the 1980s. It's the 2020s. That's the way the game is played now.
Oh man. So I saw that one. I thought obviously that was just like Christ Almighty. I'm like, it's another one of these calls where just
the Brissett one was certainly was more egregious than the Brady one.
Exactly. And that's why I had brought it up, because I thought the Jacoby Brissett one was way worse of a sell job and way worse of a call. The only reason that gets more press is because that's Tom Brady.
It's Tom Brady.
Trust me, I get it. How often is my camera screwing up for you, Grumpy?
It's not that much.
Okay. I'm about to say, if it gets annoying, I'm just going to turn the crap off.
It's a pleasant respite when you're not on there facially.
Well, this was a game misconduct from Washington State against USC. Now, this guy got a game misconduct for targeting.
Is that undefeated USC?
Yeah, USC. Shitty USC Trojans who doesn't play anybody. But here it is. So this was a game misconduct. This was when Washington State was driving down the field to try to go ahead and put another one. They got a 15-yard penalty. Their starting tackle got ejected from the game. I'll let you watch, and you be the judge on, is this a targeting penalty? Because it's complete shit. It's the typical, hey, how do we try to over officiate? How do we try to put our fingers, a grubby little referee paws over everything that goes on in the game? It's awful. What is he supposed to do? Let the freaking linebacker have a free, clean run at the quarterback? Hey, sorry about that. Not going to happen. Like, buddy, I don't know. I really don't understand what you want him to do in this situation. Not block him? Say, here you go, Ole, go right to the quarterback. What the fuck do you want him to do here?
I do not think that's targeting.
It's game misconduct.
Well, they have had that old, hitting the guy who's not looking rule, which is a rule. I don't know. That to me, maybe that's what they were calling. I don't know. But
they called it targeting.
Right. To me, here's the thing: the lineman's just kind of standing his ground a little bit. I don't think he really lowered the boom on him.
Yeah, it's targeting. This is a targeting call.
I guess maybe I'm not calling that, even though he did hit him in the head with the shoulder. But I don't think that's a targeting call now.
Sorry. Here's the thing: the guy who's 6'5", 6'6", when you're running, he's going to hit every part of your body. And just because you're not paying attention doesn't mean, oh, okay, he goes 76. What should you do? Well, just because you put him in an odd position, you're not allowed to hit him. Just go ahead and let him hit your quarterback. Okay. Like what it's like saying if a play gets loose and a quarterback starts scrambling in the backfield. Nope, you can't hit anybody as the quarterback's scrambling anymore. It's complete shit.
Again, it's one of those, well, look at the guy, he's down on the ground like that. They're going to throw a flag. But what did do you remember what I said to you last week? And you poo-pooed me.
It has nothing to do with concussion protocol. Don't bullshit that, because you're going to try to freaking conflate the two.
I'm going to say
this is a flop special. It's another. He gets hit. He gets upended.
He did not flop. He got tattooed by that guy.
Look afterwards. He goes, oh no.
Okay, don't say he flopped. He didn't flop. He got blindsided for certain. He turns and bam, that guy's there. I'm not saying it's a penalty, but don't say the kid flopped. He absolutely did not flop. That's in slow-mo. You run that regular speed, and I'll tell you what, it looks worse. I mean, that's in slow motion.
Guess what? There's no way in hell that's a penalty. There's no way in hell that's an ejection.
It's a penalty, but don't say the kid flopped. He absolutely didn't flop. He got tattooed. He took a shoulder to the head.
I'm saying he obviously gets hit down to the ground. I'm talking about the after effect where he throws his hands up. Oh, and he lays on the ground like a helpless.
I didn't even see that. That's all I see is this.
Start to see. Oh, he throws his hands.
I didn't see that. It stopped. That's not what I saw.
Yeah,
I didn't see him throwing his hands up in the air. I mean, he just got knocked on his keister, and that's it. He's not doing anything. I didn't see anything after that. I don't know what you're saying.
Okay.
All I can do is look at the clip that I see here.
On the ground, arms go. Whoa.
No, stop. You're over-exaggerating.
His arms are on his head now. Oh.
He took a shot to the head.
Oh, shut fucking
It is.
stop.
I'm not. Don't say the kid flopped. He got tagged. And like I said, you're looking at it in slow motion.
Oh,
If you
stop.
look
I
at that
just
regular
I don't
feed,
understand as a targeting, and the guy probably laid around on the field for a
I
while,
didn't say it
and
was
then what they did.
targeting. I didn't say it was targeting, but don't say that the kid took a flop. He didn't. He got laid out. I mean, I'm going to guarantee the crowd went, ooh, when they saw that hit. I guarantee you. I mean, he got decked. It's a clean hit, but he got destroyed. Don't say that he was flopping or faking it. He got lit up. He turned around and he got clipped on it with a big shoulder by a guy who's twice his size with a shot to the head. Not a penalty, but still, don't say the kid's faking. He wasn't faking.
I'm saying he's selling it at the end.
I don't think he's selling. I thought he was. He got decked. He got decked.
Oof. So apparently it happened a few times that night. A guy from USC was ejected from targeting. It's just like the over. It's the over freaking.
Why? Why? Tell me again why. Because of the concussion thing. It's all a reaction to the concussion thing. All of it. Now we can't let that happen. Throw them out of the game. Make them not hit people in the heads. I'm telling you, it's the overreaction to Tua Tagovailoa. I mean, if that's the poster boy for concussions, I just wish it was somebody else who wasn't so brittle, because he's brittle. If it was somebody else, if it was a Brady or a Rodgers or some warrior type guy who has a concussion, okay. Tua, he's always hurt. Yeah, boom, down, he's gone. He's out for 6 weeks.
Well, I do want to go ahead and get your opinion on this one, Grumpy. So today,
at the Tampa Bay game, why is this not in landscape view?
Well, I'll be honest, it's so far up in the nosebleeds, it doesn't really matter, to be quite frank. I'm just shocked they're not zooming in. They have a zoom feature on the phone for a reason, but
I can't use the zoom feature on my phone either.
You'll be able to see it. But we talked about how brutal, how he swung Tom Brady at the tail end of that. He went whoop, but he swung it. So a 10-year-old ran away from his mom or ran onto the field when he was with his mom at the game.
Authority said he was not 10.
Was that?
Authority said he was not 10.
How old was it? Because it says 10.
He said that he was a juvenile, but they said the mother told the Associated Press he was 10. Maybe she doesn't know how old her kid is. The mother said that the kid was 10, but the police said he's not 10. Well, they said how old is he? He said he's still a juvenile, but he's not 10, which tells me the mother is full of shit. First of all, go ahead, just run the clip. Then I'm going to run the mother down.
Look at the crowd. Buddy, he hit him. He lowered the freaking boom on that
Don't
kid.
run on the field. Don't run on the field.
Okay, Grumpy. Now, what you said, I know you're probably mesmerized. I don't have your face up, but I'm sure you're mesmerized by the hit. But what's your opinion on it? You said you got an issue with the mother.
Why the hell aren't you watching your kid? Why aren't you? How is your kid? What are you doing that your kid is down on the field, running around on the field? That's a lack of parental discretion. That's the parent's fault. I mean, where's the mother? Was she chasing the kid, or was she too busy talking to the press? Stop. I'm glad the kid got wrecked. Good.
I don't like that a kid was wrecked. Come on.
You know what? Don't come on the field. I'm telling you again, don't come on the field.
I know they shouldn't be on the field. When you see a child out there,
don't do it.
Tackle a child.
I bet he doesn't do it again.
I bet
he doesn't do it again.
I bet he doesn't do it again.
I'm gonna tell you what.
Yeah, you're probably right.
That's a form tackle by that guy too.
Yeah. I was about to say, man. Boom.
Who knows how long he was running around? They had a lot of people galloping after this kid. Kids can run freaking forever too. They don't.
Oh, that's what it is. The kid, he was like the Energizer Bunny. He had a fresh pack of batteries on him, ready to run.
I'm gonna tell you what. It was at the extra point. He must have come from the other end zone. Because that's where they were going. He's all the way down the other 20. Because it was when they were going for a 2-point conversion. and he gets all the way down to the 20. I mean, believe me, these security guys don't say, "Hey, kid, run out there in the field. Don't you want to run out the field? Take them down," and then have their buddies torpedo them 50 yards downfield. No, that's the last thing they want to do. Where's the mother? Why is your kid on the field, Mom? Why is your kid running around like they own the place, Mom?
The officer said the mother has several children, was confused which one jumped onto the field.
What a frickin' what? Maybe she shouldn't be. First of all, why is she taking her kids to the game then? If you can't, how many kids do you have? 40? I mean, how many kids could you? What do you mean? She lost track of her kids. They should all be on freaking leashes then.
It said the officer said that the mother has several children and was confused about which one jumped onto the field.
Oh, so she didn't know. Oh, so maybe she said the 10-year-old, but it wasn't 10. Maybe it was a different.
No matter what, it was a kid. It was the kid doing that. It was just young kids just doing some dumb shit. And they said, "Here you go, buddy. You're going to learn today."
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let's say when you were a child, we went to a professional game. Did I ever let you run around on the football field while the game is being played?
They said, "TJ, go out there and get that game ball. Get that from Tom Brady." Holy shit, we got a better angle. Hold on a second.
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
We got a better angle. I was about to say,
Hopefully
we've been
it's
watching the
close.
angle from the freaking bleeds. That's not a good angle.
Yeah,
let's pull this one up.
That's what I want to see. Here's the thing. The kid wasn't raised right.
Let's pull this
up.
Here's
the thing. You knew better than to do that when you were a kid, didn't you?
Yeah. What are you doing, Grumpy? I couldn't hear you.
Throw his hat up. Yeah.
We'll try to get, my God. Okay, let's try.
I love when these guys get trucked. Look at him. Boom.
He looks like maybe he's 12 or 13 years old.
Not anymore. He's got a shortened lifespan now after taking that shot.
Was that, Grump?
He's got a shortened lifespan now after taking that shot.
Yeah, I was about to say. I don't know. When you see a kid,
I have no sympathy for him. You know you're not allowed on the field. It's the mother's fault, honestly.
Okay. When you see a 10-year-old who steals from a store, are you treating him the same exact way that you see a 20-year-old who steals from a store? I would assume no, right? Because he's a kid.
Don't run on the field. There are repercussions to your actions.
I'm not saying there's not.
Well, he learned. Like I said, I bet he doesn't do it again. I'm glad he got lit up. I wish it would have been a little bit more punishing, because this way he'd say, "I'm not going on that field. Come on, Johnny, let's go on the field. Last time I got a decapitated spine. I'm not going to go for that anymore. No thanks. I'm sitting in my seat." No, sorry. Don't do it. Don't do it. Do not run. If you run on the field, you're just asking to catch a beating. And I got no sympathy for you at all. None. You're not part of the show. Where's your mom? Where's your dad? Where's anyone?
I don't know. Dad was not mentioned at all.
Yeah. Okay.
All I just heard was mom.
Yeah.
So maybe it was a mom's day to the game. Maybe mom just wanted to go at the game with him.
Yeah. I bet those are freebie tickets.
Oh, good girl.
How many kids? Several?
That's all
several.
Said. She had several kids and wasn't sure which one got out.
How many is several? How many? How many kids? So you went there with how many kids? And you can't control them? Don't they have like a pen to keep the kids in? Some type of
I don't know. I think it was a little bit over the top, a little excessive, but it is what it is.
All right. That was a long run. Because he came out of the end zone where they went for the 2-point conversion. That's 80 yards downfield. This kid, woo, look at me, boom, ba-boom. And he's still trying to avoid him. You get what you get.
Okay.
All you had to do was stop.
All you had to do was just grab him and be like, "Hey, we're not doing that." But I did see a funny video that I think you would at least appreciate, Grumpy Old Man, because I know you love Tom Brady. So I want you to go ahead and take a look at this. It says Tom Brady without Giselle yelling at him to retire every year. And I'll let you listen to it because I think it's kind of accurate, Grumpy.
Oh, is this Tom Brady with the ball here?
Tom showing off the wheels tonight. Nothing fires up Tom Brady more than using his legs. Everybody tells him how bad of an athlete he is. He can't run, can't do this. Everybody plays 2 man under against him, and look at it, just Tom showing off the wheels.
Tom Brady
tonight.
showing off the wheels, Grumpy Old Man. Now that Giselle's no longer in the picture, he's showing off the wheels, buddy.
I don't know which team he was on, but it looked like
This is for Kansas. It was like an alumni game.
oh, okay. It looks like I mean, this guy's pretty old.
It's just an old video where it's like this guy's like in his 90s and was like a running back for Kansas like back many moons ago. He's probably dead.
Is that Bronco Nagurski? Who the hell is that? Red Grange?
Tom freaking Brady, Grumpy. Did you not hear them?
Tom Harmon?
Tom Brady.
Oh, Tom Brady. Yeah.
It's Tom Brady. Listen.
Nothing fires up Tom Brady more than using his legs. Everybody tells him how
guy missed a tackle.
he is. He can't run, can't do this. Everybody plays 2D man over against him. Look at him just.
You know what?
Tom.
I find these things. All right, that's not as. You ever see like where they have some little blind kid or some kid with like one arm or something, and they let him play the game, or some kid with some disability, they let him score a touchdown. It's kind of like that, but that one was kind of sad. The other ones are more like, "Hey, good for you," but that's a little bit. I mean, that guy's looks pretty old.
Okay, Grumpy. It's a video from like 3 or 4 years ago where it was at a Kansas Jayhawks alumni game, and this guy was like a good player many moons ago, and they handed him off the ball to go ahead and do a little run to show that he can still move around with the young bucks, Grumpy.
Well, they made sure he scored a touchdown. That's what it was.
Well, no shit. They weren't going to go out there and say, hey, we're going to play you like we would everybody else. I know you're in your 90s and you can barely waddle your way 20 yards down the field. They're not going to be like treating him like he's a 10 or 11-year-old boy running out on Raymond James Field.
Let me tell you something. If that old man hopped out of the damn stands at Raymond James Field, well, they probably wouldn't have had to take him down that hard because he's not so shifty. But he would have got what he freaking deserved. Don't do it. You're asking for all I'm just saying is there are consequences to your actions. That's all. Don't do it.
Grumpy says consequences to your actions.
Yes.
And let's look. I got a few more too I want to talk to you about here, Grump. Let's talk a little bit about the Arizona Cardinals because we're going to jump into comments, guys. Sorry, we're behind on comments. We're going to jump into them. But Kyler Murray's pre-game outfit. Grumpy, what do you give it on a scale from 1 to 10?
Oh, my God. He looks like a lime.
They say Kyler Murray dressed like Hillary Clinton. I think that's kind of accurate.
Oh, wow. He looks, gosh.
I guess that one, too, on the side is pretty nice.
That's Queen Elizabeth.
That's Queen Elizabeth. There's Hillary Clinton. Look at all these. What do you think about the outfit? My God.
It's terrible.
Are you starting to get some Cam Newton type of vibes from him?
No, Cam Newton was a better dresser than him. He used to have those hats. I mean, this guy doesn't have a hat. That's a terrible looking outfit. It's terrible.
No, more what I was asking for. Are you starting to try to get Cam? Are you starting to get Cam Newton vibes? I mean, Kyler Murray has struggled this year. Another poor game for him today. Again, you know, I on this show at the beginning of the season told everybody, guy who's overrated, Kyler Murray, a guy who's an average pedestrian quarterback at best, Kyler Murray. I was the first
weapons.
to go ahead and sing that from the mountaintops, right? Are we starting to get to where Kyler Murray should start to pay a little bit more attention to what's going on in the playbook and stop playing? I think he was the one who they signed the contract and they said he had to do like some sort of mandatory homework studying, but they took it out of the negotiation.
They took that out of the contract.
Yeah,
because there was backlash.
When I see something like that in a contract, it would indicate to me he doesn't pay enough attention regarding film study. It's maybe he's spending too much time making sure his green dressed suit top and bottom is matching and looks perfect instead of worrying about studying up on his opponent. Are we starting to get Cam Newton vibes like that from him?
I can't get over the costume. I'm like, it's like a fat girl coming out wearing, who's like a size 20 wearing a size 4 dress. It's just a bad look. It's terrible. It's ugly. It's horrible. Just dress appropriately. Is that I can't get over it. It's like, what is that?
Honestly, I never would have expected that. It is an awful outfit.
And again, I disagree with your assessment of
That's all right. You disagree with me all last year about Baker Mayfield, and I've been proven right again on that one, Grump. Doesn't take a lot to evaluate quarterback talent and ability, which I guess moves us into our next topic. Kenny Pickett still, I'm bullish on Kenny Pickett, grumpy old man. I know the game against the Bills, not fantastic today, but I'm telling you, I liked what I saw. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers, defensively, they just looked like they're in shambles.
They play Buffalo, which doesn't help.
Buffalo hasn't run over every team they played so far this year, but they
Buffalo
made easy work from them.
Buffalo is one of those teams. They're a front-runner team for certain. When they get up on you, they're going to kill you. But the close games, I still don't know if they know how to win those tight games. I mean, I still think it's a struggle for you. Thank goodness they had John Harbaugh on the other side last week. It's the only reason they won, because he's just so much of a choker. He helped Buffalo out there. But Josh Allen was incredible today. To me, he's best player in the league. Best player in the league.
Mm.
And Lamar Jackson's had a great year, but Josh Allen's a man. Can do anything.
Right now, rumors are flying around. They said even as of late Friday night, I'm now hearing it's a matter of when and not if for Matt Rule to be out in Carolina. The benefit of doing it sooner than later is that Rule ends up in play for a college job, reducing the buyout. I mean, they gave him that 10-year contract. My God, how bad is that looking?
It looked bad when they did it because it's not like, okay,
first-time head coach.
From college, no less.
A first-time NFL head coach, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just to me, that's like a prove-it type thing. You give him a 4-year deal, whatever it is, 4 or 5 years. That's it. The only coaches in the history you ever should have got 10-year deals? Vince Lombardi and Bill Belichick. That's it. Those are the only guys.
Matt Rule is on Bill Belichick's level, grumpy. That's the thing.
He's sorry. From Baylor. He came from Baylor.
Yeah.
Baylor. Not even a big school. Baylor.
Baylor.
Jeez.
Oh, God. Yes. So, they're already talking about him. He's going to be the first guy who gets axed. He's on the hot seat.
I told you this was going to be his last year. I don't know how long they hold on to him. But they're in trouble. They're a bad team with a limited quarterback, no weapons, poor offense. Oh, my God. Poor offense, 21. What did he do, steal his kid brother's shirt? Holy shit. Come on, bro. Please.
It's not even that.
No.
It gets better. Grumpy, it gets better.
How could it get any better than that? Oh,
okay, it gets plenty
Why
better.
Is he 21? Is that the jersey that he wore in Pee-wee's? In the, in Pop Warner League? My God, look at that. Come on. Geez, when you put that on, cut the sides out or something. Use a rope. Can't they get him a bigger jersey than that?
Well, I think he wants to be number 21.
Does he want his belly hanging out in the street like that?
Desmond Watson, I think his name is Desmond Watson.
Oh, Jesus.
I think that's what he wore. I'm trying to remember. So I want you to listen. Because what they're talking about is his dedication to being a successful player. He came in to Florida, 6'5", 380 pounds.
What's he now? 6'5", 450?
I'll let you watch him. Now, this is good. Lauren Sisler talks about the dedication that Desmond has to getting in shape and to being a top-tier player. I'll let you listen to it. It's quite I want to ask you to tell you, does it pass the sniff test?
Stairmaster pretty much every day after practice for about an hour.
Oh, my God. Look at the ass on that kid. Why is he 21? Why is he 21?
I want you to listen to what they say, because he says, I want you to listen to what Lauren Sisler has to say and the dedication he has to getting in shape. And I just want you to listen.
Comment. I'll just listen to the whole thing first.
Please just listen. Yes. Let me lower it so it's not unbelievably loud for you and everybody at home, so we're not going to kill your ears.
Stairmaster pretty much every day after practice for about an hour.
He also meets with a nutritionist after that. This is a guy who squats 720 and benches 520. He's going to
Stairmaster pretty much every day after.
Okay, I have a couple of comments.
He's on the Stairmaster for pretty much every day after practice for at least an hour a day. So you have 4 days of practice and a 5th day, which is the Friday, is the walkthrough. So if we're saying pretty much every day, I'm saying he's on there 70 to 80% of the time. So you're trying to tell me he's over there at least 3 days a week after a football practice on the Stairmaster for an hour a day, and this is the type of body type he's got.
Okay. They said that he squats 750 pounds. Yes, that's when he gets up from the toilet. That's like a squat for him. And they said that he benches 525. That's when he pushes himself out of bed. That's what they're talking about. I mean, just look at how big his ass is. Oh, please. How did this kid get a scholarship? How did he get? Look at this.
He makes Vince Wilson.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Sweet Lord. Why is he number 21? Why are they letting this young fella? Oh, no. He plays for Florida?
Yeah, he plays for Florida.
Is there any wonder their team sucks?
So, I mean, like they did say, he also meets with the nutritionist once every single day. Once he gets off he gets off the Stairmaster. My question is, who's that nutritionist? Because we need to revoke their job if he's meeting with a nutritionist every single day.
Right. That old joke, they put him on a seafood diet. He didn't realize it wasn't everything you see, you eat. So, I mean, that's what this kid's, I mean, Jesus, his ass is huge. It looks like he's winded just walking to the sideline. Ooh. Hands are on his hips just from standing. Oh, look at this.
I just love how they talk about like, oh man, he's done such a good job. He's still looking like he's 360, if not heavier.
I remember the movie Little Giants when they had some, little portly kid. And Al Bundy at O'Neill said he's timing the kids in the 40-yard dash to all try out for the local team. And he says, hey, coach, this number 21 here says, hey, coach, how fast did I run the 40? He says, I don't know, son. I don't have a sundial. I mean, it's like, I mean, what do you think he runs the 40 in? 18 seconds?
I don't know, man.
I mean,
he's a big boy. He's not moving too well.
I feel bad for him. Why did they put him in that 21 jersey?
He chose the 21 jersey. He was 21 in high school.
Can you not get him a bigger jersey? Can he not get like a XXX jersey or 3X, 4X, 5X?
Buddy, he needs it. Okay, these jerseys are meant to slip. They're meant to be like slim fit, so they're supposed to hug your body. For like all the guys who have rippling six packs, it makes them look good. For all the big boys, it doesn't. So I mean, he would need like a 7XL jersey, not to make him look like he was a freaking a 10 pounds worth of potatoes in a 5-pound sack.
Well, then just get him a jersey like that. Oh my God. The worst thing is if the white shirt pops out of his pants, which that happens. I'm going to just watch Florida. Maybe for morbid obesity, I'm going to just watch Florida from now and just see this kid waddle in and out of the lineup. I don't even know if he plays.
He does. He plays. Absolutely, he does.
I guess he's a run stuffer.
Yeah, believe it or not, he's not one of those pass rushers, Grumpy. He's more of just a run stuffer.
Shocking.
Oh man, I tell you. So I figured you get a little bit of a kick out of that. At least, hey, he's on the Stairmaster pretty much every day after practice, or at least an hour a day. I find that hard to believe.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Grumpy. I'm sorry. But yes, every day for at least an hour a day. Let's get some comments here, though. Stephen S. says, leaving his comments to remind you guys to look up the video of the fan running out in the field and getting railed on live between the Packers and the Panthers. Okay.
Yeah, see, that's something I'm interested in. I want to see these idiot fans get trucked by players, officials, whoever. Look, it's all about me. No problem. You get what you get. Don't complain. There are repercussions to your actions. That's just the way it should be. Sorry. A lot of concussions this week. You notice? A lot of concussion. A lot of Saquon Barkley.
Okay. Here's the thing. You have to tell me exactly how many there are if you're going to say, a lot of concussions. You can't you got to actually tell me the exact number, Grumpy.
A lot.
Yeah. Okay. That's just you just saying that and not having the information saying, oh yeah, we're going to put the owner on.
Here we go. Let's watch. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Now you're ready to watch, huh?
This guy's
Okay,
going to get. I hope he gets trucked. Look at him.
okay, let's look at the freeze frame. Who do we think the fan is on this field, Grumpy, right now?
Mr. Yellow Jacket.
Mr. Yellow Jacket. I would
Maybe
assume.
he's chasing. Maybe he's chasing down a fan fight.
Oh God, I like this. They'll use a little yellow.
Fan running out onto the field.
Oh
man!
Wow.
Yeah, that's what he deserves.
Yep.
You come out on the field, you're lucky that this is as bad as it gets.
Got what he
Oh,
deserves.
Green didn't even see him.
Comes the guy in yellow.
Baboo.
Hey, honey, I went to the game last night and had my chest caved in.
Wow, there he is. That's the look of somebody heading for a host down.
Wait a second, that's my
drag him
agent, Jimmy!
Oh God.
They like that he got run over. Look at this kid. Jerk.
Holy shit. Oh, buddy, that's a good one, Grumpy.
You know how much sympathy I have for him?
I've got a lot of sympathy for him, Grumpy, as I'm sure you do too.
Absolutely none.
What? You have no sympathy for him?
Nope.
Who would have figured?
Don't
Frank
do that
K
dopey
said-
crap.
What was that? Oh, Frank K said, Giants showing heart. The Mets look dead.
Oh.
Yeah, just to give an update here. The Mets down still 4-0, bottom of the 7th. Joe Musgrove, 1 hit, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts.
I guess that's why it's important to win your division. They had it in their hands and they didn't
Dude,
do it in the last week.
Now, let me ask you this. The Mets don't win tonight. Right? I had them. Hey, Mets on paper, fantastic. Scherzer goes out there and gets fucking obliterated. And then you have DeGrom who does the job. And then you got Bassett tonight who just pitches like shit. Let me ask you this.
So Bassett gave up what? How many runs did he give up?
3 runs in 3 innings.
And they yanked him after 3 innings?
Pitched like shit.
Okay. Like I said,
I'm sorry, 3 runs in 4 innings. 4 innings, 3 hits, 3 walks, 3 earned runs.
Okay.
I mean, like, I'm sorry. We're in the postseason, buddy. I can't go ahead and let you give up 6 or 7 runs. Holy shit. Is that your second one, Grumpy?
Yes, it is.
Oh, man. That means you're going to be going the whole rest of the podcast without another drink.
That's right. That's exactly what it means.
God almighty. Why are you so thirsty for?
I was thirsty. What the hell can I tell you?
What the hell can I tell you? But what's up? What's going on with the Mets, right? Let's say they lose tonight. What are you doing if you're owner of the Mets?
Sometimes it happens in a short series. San Diego's even though their record wasn't great this year, they have talent on that team.
I know, but if you're Steve Cohen, what are you thinking?
I'm happy with this team.
You're happy with the team despite how they played and they collapsed towards the tail end of the season. You're still content?
I don't think they collapsed. They just lost the last series to the Braves.
They were in the driver's seat. And they didn't lose the last series. I think they got swept.
Yeah, well, they lost the last series to the Braves. That's what that gave them where they did not clinch division. That was the Braves are the World Series champions.
The Braves had such a shitty start to this year, and the Mets were unable to capitalize based off a huge early lead to the season and just fell apart.
But the Braves were really good from when they righted the ship. I mean, let's not undersell the Braves. You know, you're winning a World Series for a reason. I mean, they're a good team. I mean, like I said, in the National League, it was going to be the 3 teams I said, right? It was going to be Dodgers, Mets, and Braves. Well, Dodgers and Braves won division. They had the 2 best records. All of a sudden they get, and this game was in New York, wasn't it? You said?
Yes, Citi Field.
Oh my gosh.
All 3 games are at Citi Field.
Which I think is wrong, by the way.
Okay. You can't go around with how you started the season, and you've got, right, Scherzer gets absolutely freaking annihilated.
It happens.
Gotta do better. Gotta do better than that.
It happens.
Gotta do better. It happens. It happens. It happens. It doesn't happen for a guy that's a freaking ace of your team. That shouldn't be happening.
But it happens sometimes.
You don't see Justin Verlander going out there pitching to the postseason like, oh, Verlander gives up 7 earned runs in 4 innings. You don't see that.
I don't know what you want. How do you want me to react?
I think there needs to be some serious restructuring.
They just did that last off season. They just did that last off season. So you're going to say you came within 1 game of winning division last year, having one of the top 3 records in baseball, and you're saying blow it up?
I'm not saying blow it up. The batters need to be seriously reconstructed. We do not have enough hitting in order to feel confident, I don't believe. Right? It's not the pitching. I know Scherzer didn't pitch well, but I'm like, right now, you're facing off against Musgrove. You have 1 hit through 7 innings.
Good pitching. I say this to you 100 times. You don't want to listen. Good pitching beats good hitting every time.
The Mets have better pitching staff than the Padres do.
Yeah, DeGrom pitched well yesterday. Scherzer had an off day. It happens. It happens.
Wickman says the Mets looking bad tonight. That for certain they are. Frank K says the NFL knows they're going to get sued eventually. That's why they're calling these phantom roughing the quarterback penalties. Got to protect their ass. Goodell is trash.
It's the overreaction to the Tua.
They have always called the touch penalties against roughing the passers. Always.
I'm telling you, it's the overreaction to the Tua injury where they came out and they looked bad for Tua coming back and playing the next week. All they care about is how they look and making money. That's all they care about. I keep saying these things. That's why they happen. I said this last week, this was going to happen. And you said, no, it wasn't. And it is happening. Oh. That's just the way the NFL is. Yeah. Eventually it'll calm back down. But for the next few weeks, just get ready for it.
Oh, okay.
Freiermuth went out with a head injury. So did Bridgewater. A lot of guys went out with head injuries.
Who? How many? Until you can't just say a lot of guys. You gave me 2 guys.
That's 2 more than usual.
No, it's not. Stop. Drew L says, this is one of these weeks in fantasy where my players sucked, but I'm set for long-term success. Rashad Penny, injured. Great benefit for me. Kenny Pickett, played well. D-Hop, coming back. I was about to say, I got Kenneth Walker. Yep, I got Breece Hall and Kenneth Walker the next week, since Damian Pierce and Derrick Henry are on buys. James F. saying Mets season is over. Drew said, speaking of not great coaching, I saw that Christian Watson was on special teams, and I was like, WTF, Matt LaFleur. I forever die on that hill that Watson is better than Lazard in doubts.
It's Doobs.
Doots.
Doobs.
Doobs.
Here's the thing. He might turn out to be better. He's coming from a 1AA school. What do they call it, TJ?
Division 1AA school.
Okay, 1AA school. It's going to take more of a time for him to get acclimated to what the NFL's about. He dropped a short touchdown pass from Rodgers. And here's the thing about veterans. If you don't produce and you're a rookie, they're not throwing to you for a while till you prove that you're reliable. That's just the way it is. That's why. And here's who's proved that he's reliable. Doobs has, and Lazard has, because he's had that history with Rodgers. Watson drops passes. Maybe better luck next year, kid.
Drew L says he needs a proper opportunity to succeed. Aaron Rodgers won't let him because he's an egotistical maniac that mixed his bad coaching that cost the Packers the game today.
I'm going to tell you again, if you drop balls, the veteran quarterback's not throwing to you.
Alexander says, congratulations to the Jets for beating the 3rd-string quarterback and a bunch of practice squad players. Wilson is so bad he can't even put 300 passing yards versus that secondary.
So is Alexander saying that the Dolphins aren't as good as he thought they were, but they're a bunch of, practice squad players? I don't know what he's trying to say there. Maybe the Dolphins aren't as good as he thought.
Well, here's the thing. Zach Wilson is not the guy who's going to be he's not a top 10 quarterback in the NFL just quite yet. Maybe he could do that one time, but he's got a long way to go to get there.
Yep.
I think that's simple. I still feel confident that he's got upside to him, which is the always important part. Brian J says, go Giants, 4-1. Here's the shitty thing. All of this fake hope that the Giants are pumping into your veins is going to be sadly just going to be let down when everything goes to shit. Because here's the thing. I do not think they're as good as their record indicates. You only play the guys on your schedule. That being said, Daniel Jones is not the answer at quarterback. We will go into next year without having a solid answer at quarterback, and that's a big problem.
Is Lamar Jackson a free agent at the end of this year?
No.
No. Okay. I thought he was. My bad. I mean, maybe they're going to try to make a splash in the free agent market. I don't know. Until you
Who's
can
gonna
get
be
him.
available in the free agent market?
Who is?
Who? I just asked you, correct?
Oh, I thought Lamar Jackson was. I thought he was free agent.
Oh, I'm sorry. He'll be an unrestricted free agent. You're right. I thought he was still a restricted free agent at that point. He'll be an unrestricted free agent.
They're probably going to tag him. But if you're the Giants and they tag him, do you offer him a ridiculous contract anyway and give him 2 first-round draft picks for that?
I guess it depends.
I would.
If you're in a spot to where, hey, we've done well this year, we won games, why not? And you think if Lamar Jackson going to help, because it would be this year's draft pick and next year's, right?
Yep.
I would do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll give up a first round. That's going to be maybe late in this year's draft and late in next year's draft.
Yeah, I'm willing to do that.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, here's the thing. If I'm Lamar Jackson, I don't give a shit what Baltimore offers me now. The answer is no. They want to lowball him on the guaranteed money. And here's the thing. Whenever you're not – this is the way the contracts are in the NFL now, right? It's all about the guaranteed money. All of it. Everything.
I want the Deshaun Watson, baby.
No one counts the full value of the deal. It's just guaranteed money. And you tried to lowball him on guaranteed money. That's what Baltimore tried to do. Lowball him on the guaranteed money. He negotiates his own contracts. If it was me, I'm like, screw you. I'm going to go somewhere where they guarantee me full time. And if I'm the Giants, I go all in for him. Tell me the way Brian Daboll runs that team, how he did with Josh Allen. Tell me Lamar Jackson's not perfect for that.
I don't think Lamar Jackson's a great quarterback. I think he's a hell of an athlete. I think it's dependent upon Barkley staying healthy.
But here's the thing. With him and Barkley in the backfield, holy crap. I'll tell you what, they got weapons. Then it's a wide receiver, right? You got to find yourself a top-flight wide receiver.
Alexander says, if Tua is starting and Xavier Howard's starting, we win, says Alexander. I don't know, man. You lost 40 to 13 or 17, something like that.
Do you think they're worth 23 points?
Drew L says, if Randall Cobb is getting 13 targets, you're doing something majorly wrong. My God. See, here's the thing. He likes Randall Cobb.
Why does
he like on record beforehand liking Randall Cobb? Why
does he like Randall Cobb?
He's worked with him before. He's got that experience with him.
That's right. That's the whole thing. He feels comfortable with Randall Cobb. Randall Cobb, he throws the ball to Randall Cobb. Guess what Randall Cobb does? He's where he's supposed to be on the field, and he catches the ball. Christian Watson drops balls right in his hands. A veteran quarterback just says, screw it. Tom Brady did the same thing with N'Keal Harry. They know if these kids can play. The great quarterbacks know if these kids can play. Brady wouldn't throw the ball to Harry. He saw him in practice. He's like, absolutely not. I'm not throwing the ball.
Brian J. saying the same thing. Giants are a quarterback away from being a really good team. And Lamar Jackson might go to the Giants. That'd be nice. He says Andrew Thomas is the best tackle in the game right now.
Absolutely is not. I was going to say he was freaking miserable today. He's terrible. I'm sorry. He's not good.
He has times where he looks good and other times where he just looks deficient.
Yeah,
he said, oh, wow. Alexander says, I give the Jets no credit today. Okay.
Oh, boy.
Okay, Alexander.
They're 3-2. They're 3-2. At some point, you have to say, you know what? The Jets are better than we expected. We said what going into the year? 6 wins for the Jets? I mean, they're on their way to that for certain.
John McManaman says, great weekend, Grump. Auburn will have a new coaching search destroyed against their rival Bulldogs. The Dolphins, using a third-string quarterback, lost to a rival, and the Mets looking bad after 5 innings. The Islanders not playing their top 6 players this year. John, I think that's a little bit of I don't think John's being necessarily
sarcasm off is what he
that's
said
right.
at the end. Yeah.
That's right. Sarcasm off.
I was going to wear the Auburn. I was going to wear the Auburn shirt today, but just in case John was watching or listening, I didn't want to rub it in. So,
Drew L says Cooper Rush is going to be the next Brock Osweiler.
We'll see.
Gungun says if the Mets lose tonight, This is the most painful jab to the tender areas and the fine franchise has treated their fans to. Or is this?
Nope. 1988 was way worse.
Hmm.
1988 losing to the Dodgers. And then the Dodgers wind up winning the World Series against the A's. That was the worst. We were better than the Dodgers. We'd beaten them. The Mets had beaten them 11 out of 12 games in the regular season, and they wound up losing in 7 to the Dodgers. Ugh, that was the worst year for me. They should have won that year. 86, they won the World Series. 87, the Cardinals, their nemesis, edged them out. No wild cards back then. And then 88, they were jogging out again and losing to the Dodgers. Ugh, that was a kick in the cojones.
Drew L says, Grumpy, I'm not going to lie. I'm leaning on the Pickett train. He played well considering he played against the number 1 defense and he threw for 300 yards. He only had 1 pick. He was impressive to me. I'm telling you, you look at how miserable you look at miserable the offensive weapons there were in Pittsburgh, and it's like he's got it. Here's the thing. He's got the it factor. For certain he does. He will be a guy who is a top half of the league quarterback from today until he retires.
Oh my God. Please. I hate when you
top
do
half
that.
of the league. That means top 16 quarterback.
Okay. So far in his career, he's had 0 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions.
Correct.
Okay. Maybe they're going to be a whole bunch of concussed quarterbacks if he's in the top half of the league.
Oh man. Chapman off the playoff roster, says James F.
No big loss there. I think the Yankees win this first. Who are the Yankees playing? Is it Cleveland? I think they're playing Cleveland.
Like comments, Grumpy. We're going to try to get through some ones here quick. Drew L says, now here's one thing about Pickett. He's playing top 5 defense in Tampa Bay. The real test is how he plays the Dolphins. Oh, God. And, And I would have opened up the 12-year-old whistle pig. Double pour. What's that?
It's alcohol.
Gungun says, massive pitching overhaul for the Mets this offseason. If so, what, who, and how?
Scherzer's going to be back. Carrasco's a free agent. DeGrom's a free agent. I don't know if Bassett is or not. Taijuan Walker, who cares? He's a number 5 starter.
Oh, stop.
But the Mets they're always able to find pitchers. You got the new catcher kid. Alvarez should be up next year. That helps.
Alvarez, yeah.
Like I said, if it was me, I would have went for Soto at the trade deadline. They went for Vogelback. We see how that panned out. They got the rough kid from San Francisco. I don't know. I thought if they were a big bat in the outfield from being a team that, they're the favorite. And that's what I said that at the time, not just now.
7 innings in, 1 hit. Apex Legend says, TJ, stop holding on to the past. Buzz cut that thinning hair. You'll look way better. Trust me on this one. I'm coming from experience here.
Whoa.
Alexander says, the defense held him in check until the missed field goal. That turned the whole game around. Frank says, yo, besides DeGrom, who are the starting pitching free agents? And the Padres are loaded.
I don't know. The Padres are loaded. They are loaded. I thought they underachieved in the regular season, but they got a boatload of talent, both on the mound and at the plate. And they're probably their best player or second best player isn't even playing because he was dumb with the steroids.
Right. I'm trying to see.
I mean, look, they got Clevenger, Darvish, Snell, Musgrove. That's a nice staff right there.
I'm trying to see what it looks like here. So Pete Alonso will have to have his contract. He's on arbitration, but he'll have to have his contract. Jeff McNeil, the new contract. Oh, wow. Look, I see good old Bobby Bonilla still being paid.
Till 2035, right?
Ah, Jesus Christ. Bobby Bonilla is 60 years old. Goodness gracious.
Hey,
I don't remember how long it is, but man, yeah, they're going to have to re-sign back quite a few players. I'm showing that there's a player option. I assume Taijuan Walker's not going to take the player option of $6 million. So, like, there's still things going on there. And like Pete Alonso still has to be signed back. And, there's a lot of that still has to go on.
It'll be a busy offseason for certain.
Gungun says, senior citizen, what about the Larry David hairstyle? So just do like a big old and just have it like a little on the sides.
Oh, man. Horseshoe haircut.
Yeah. Drew L says Michael Carter today did rob 14 extra fantasy points from Breece Hall, though, and he could have had a 42-point week if it wasn't for that scrub Michael Carter being played for feelings purposes. Ugh.
Actually,
Jets.
Yeah.
Drew L says Zappy wins game manager of the week without question. Daniel Jones places second.
I thought Daniel Jones looked pretty good today.
Were you up and actually watching that game?
Yes, I was.
I slept through that. I was like,
what a shock. What a shock.
Frank says Cristiano Ronaldo. And he says Jones battled. Been telling my Giants friends, I think this kid is good. He's got to get him some real receivers.
It's the best he's looked as a Giant. I will say that.
Gungun says, go ahead, Grumpy.
I think it's all because of the coaching of Brian Daboll.
Gungun says, confident men. How come there are no real life superheroes in the world? Couldn't some more billionaires pull off being a Batman type?
I love that. That's when he says, I don't know who, maybe it was the Flash in that horrible Justice League movie. He says, hey, what's your superpower? He says, I'm rich. That's the type of superpower I'd like to have.
Oh, man. Well, nobody that wealthy would ever put their life in jeopardy on a consistent basis.
That's why it's a comic book.
Yes. James F. said, I never saw this in baseball. The umpire actually checked the Padres' pitching ear and face by touching him. TJ, pull up that video for this. I'm stunned. Or checking to see if they've got any like tar or tack on his body.
I've seen them feel up the pitchers before.
I've seen them check his hair. Remember that earlier on in the year? They checked the hair.
Yeah. That's Buck Showalter saying, hey, check this guy. It's just to throw the guy off. I don't like it, to be honest with you. I think it's a Bush League move.
Wipes the side of his head. Ooh.
As long as he's not stroking his hair like this, I think it's okay. Just feeling around is one thing, but like ooh, let me feel your hair. That's probably inappropriate.
Let me see here. Foreign substance I'm starting to see here. Hummus Grove. Let's see here, because I'll be interested to see. Ears. Let me see. Okay. Oh, Buck Showalter went out there. Hold on a second. Okay, here it is. Let's see. I'll let you watch it. Dude, his ears are looking sticky as shit. I don't know. Like his face is looking like, kind of like, dude, his ears.
Looks like he's sweating to me.
Why are you sweating on your ears and not on your face?
Looks like
his
face
sweats on
is
their
sweaty.
fucking ears and not their face.
His face does look sweaty to me.
His ears look like they're porcelain ears because of that shiny. That's it. Throw him out of there. Toss the Padres out of the series, Grumpy. Give the Mets the win this evening, I think is what needs to happen. Good point, James. That's right.
Walking onto the field, and we'll see what this is about. He's going to talk to Alfonso Marquez at first base. And now Joe Musgrove is kind of looking over there at the manager of the Mets, wondering what's this all about.
Buddy, those ears are looking slick as hell.
Maybe he puts lotion. It puts the lotion on its skin. It's just a move to try to upset the rhythm of the pitcher.
All right. Would you assume this has something to do with some of the numbers that you've been citing? The spin rate up? What is this about?
When you see a manager go out like that at the start of an inning and the umpires get together and talk about it, generally you want to check the pitcher for something. That's what I'm assuming. Now, I won't go that far until they start checking Joe Musgrove, but certainly Buck Showalter has mentioned it to us in his pregame meetings about spin rates being way up.
Oh boy, they're checking the glove. Glove looks fine. Now the Padres say, "What the hell's going on out here?
They're checking the glove.
This guy's just trying to fuck with our pitcher."
Musgrove, they'll look at the hat.
Rub his ears, baby.
It's a bush.
They got spider tack all over the place on those bad boys.
He's got a sweat. Look at the sweat glistening off his forehead.
Yeah, he just went out there with a little spray gun. He misted his head. He misted some sweat on there, Grumpy.
It's a bush league move, in my opinion.
They're checking his ears.
Yeah, he's like, oh shit. Look at this. Danny frickin' something says, whoa.
Oh God.
You know, if I'm Joe Musgrove, I said, yeah.
Thorough search, and that appears to have yielded nothing. We'll see.
That's all it was, Grumpy.
Yeah, like I said, it should cost you now. You want to go through that shirt? All Buck Showalter did. Why did he do that? The kid was throwing a perfect game, right? That's what he was doing. So he's like, okay, let's go out there and just try to throw him off rhythm.
Here's the thing. I firmly believe that is some sort of substance. Motherfucker, I'm telling you, Grumpy, I've never seen a motherfucker sweat on his ears. Ever. Never once in my life. I'm on Vaseline Gate. He's got Vaseline loaded up on his ears that he's using every single time, touching his ears in between every single pitch. Just going like this, Grumpy, getting that little Vaseline.
The umpire felt him up. There was nothing there.
The umpire is in cahoots, Grumpy, with the San Diego Padres.
Well, you know, if he would have pulled his finger out and his ear would have come with it, okay, maybe so. He felt it up. There was nothing there. Come on.
We needed multiple people touching those ears, not just one set of hands. I needed two set of hands touching those ears to make sure Vaseline Gate was clear. James F., that's right. I agree. This is Vaseline Gate. The Mets have been robbed. It's not their inability to hit. It is the cheating Joe Musgrove that has cost us our chance to win another World Series.
Okay.
The MLB will be held accountable for this for certain, Grump. Alexander says, that's not roughing the passer, Grumpy.
It is in today's NFL.
Oh, stop.
It's 15, 20, 30 years ago. It's not, but it is now. Not allowed to hit the passer. You're not allowed to sling him to the ground. Last year, or what was in 2018, when the Rams played the Patriots, Aaron Donald did the same thing. And I'm like, man, that's roughing. And they let him off the hook with that one, but they talked about it at the time. You're not allowed to sling the quarterback to the ground. You're just not allowed to. Just not allowed to.
Our stream got taken down on YouTube.
For what?
I don't know. Our stream got taken down because we just happened to show what happened with the rubbing of the ears.
Uh-oh. Shouldn't have done that.
So, well, shit. I don't know, Grumpy. This is an odd one. It says that we still have people watching. I don't know. Yeah, I think the stream was taken down then, Grump. So, I guess we're going to be done for the evening then. Thanks so much. I tell you, it's funny how that shit works. I'm showing them rubbing the ears of somebody and we get kicked off the air.
Maybe it's just MLB.
Oh, my God. Well, Grumpy, we are going to wrap things up then today. Let's. Okay. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, I'm just glad we got to see that kid get hammered on the field today. Made me feel good.
God almighty. Well, Grump, let me see if it's back up or not yet. Nope. Yeah, stream's unavailable. It's been knocked down. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for watching the stream today. Couldn't tell you why it has been removed, but it has. So thanks so much for watching.
They're still commenting. Rusty at the end said,
now we're back on. Okay, never mind. Now we're back on. Here we go. We were ready to shut the stream down. Now we're back, Grumpy. That's what I like to see. Okay. Good to see. Good to see. I was ready to throw up. I was ready to throw up the towel, Grumpy, but good to see we're back on. Okay, there it is. Jarrell said, yeah, there's so many back injuries today. Pat Fairmouth, Teddy Bridgewater, and many more.
Many more. See?
I spoke the language of the Dolphin medical staff again. Did I?
It's the overreaction to the Tua thing. That's what it is. You see a guy like this on the field, oh shit, let's stop the sport. You know, TJ, you mentioned something. You think football in 100 years is going to be gone.
Was that?
You said, I think it was 2 years ago, you said football is going to be gone in 100
Oh, yeah.
years.
Yeah. It will be nothing what it is today. There'll be nowhere near the physical contact. It won't be the same football that we've seen for years. It's going to be a fraction of what it used to be. So I firmly do believe that. Yeah. Anyway, Drew L also says here, damn, I didn't know Ray Lewis worked for as a security guard laying out kids at the Buccaneers games.
Hey, so everybody needs a job.
Frank thought it was excessive too. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Frank. Return of Jedi. Rusty Spooner said, maybe the dad was the security guy who hit the kid. That would be great.
I'm going to bet it wasn't the dad.
Oh yeah, I did see that. By the way, there's a video of a Giants player where his butt was out of his uniform today, and the angle that he was like, they weren't giving him a happy ending, but they were trying to get like his hip flexor loose or something like that. I saw.
No.
Yeah. Frank says here, Jones' hand was bleeding and his center had a bloody crotch area. Oh my God. Didn't know about that. Again, that's what she said. Jedi Rusty Spooner also says Kyler Murray dressed like he's playing or like he's going to the player haters ball. The Chappelle show. Oh,
it was
man.
a horrible outfit.
Oh.
A silly costume.
Drew L said, I didn't know Mekhi Becton was playing for Florida wearing number 21.
That's right. He's rehabbing.
Oh, man.
On the Stairmaster.
Jesus. Frank is saying it looks like he needs some liposuction. He needs something. The Stairmaster or the Eclair Master.
Very good.
And Jedi Spooner says here, that kid from the Gators' legs are humongous. I take it from him at goal. I take him for a goal line defense. Good luck moving that.
Ugh. His butt is huge. I mean, vertical. It's like horizontally big. I mean, just like it's out there.
Goon says number 21 has quite a tuchus on him. Can you imagine how thunderous his farts must be?
I was thinking something else, like in the dating world. How would that work?
Well, Jesus, don't even start me.
I'm not starting.
Oh, man. Good gracious. Like I've always said, the Lowell Mets is eternal. Lowell Mets is for life. Yeah, the Mets, I tell you. They're down 6-0, top of the ninth.
It's over.
Hey, time to put your rally cap on, right, Grumpy? They have one fucking hit today. One hit.
Pitching beats hitting. Good pitching beats good hitting. Just does.
Our batting is anemic.
Who did the damage with the bats today for San Diego?
Everybody.
Okay.
There's only 3 players without a hit.
Wow. Okay.
Jake Cronenworth, Will Myers, and Kim Ha-seong. But he had 3 walks. So, everybody has been on base for them.
Juan Soto looking pretty good today.
Yeah, we can go ahead and pick one day. Would he have 2 hits and 2 RBIs?
Proven playoff performer.
Oh, yeah. He came out and he went 0 for, I think, the first 2 games.
He's good.
I'm glad he finally put the bat on the ball.
He's good. You're not even going to remember the name Aaron Judge by the time he's done.
Oh, yeah. Broke the AL home run record, Aaron Judge. Yeah, he's going to be winning the freaking MVP, Aaron Judge. But, hey, what can you say? Stephen S. said, after today's game in London, I need some of those Alec Baldwin Mr. Conductor's Gold Dust from the 2000 film Thomas and the Magic Railroad after blowing that game. I can't be mad at anybody but ourselves.
Those London games are always tricky, or the European games, because the whole schedule is thrown off for both teams, and it's an equalizer, I think, for good teams where they're not up to snuff. Where shitty teams are always shitty, it doesn't matter.
Got Frank K saying Bassett was shit. Hate to see that. James F said the Mets are 0-9 with runners in scoring position.
It's been an issue for them all year.
And of course, it wasn't like that was today, but I mean, like, they have not been able to capitalize.
Yeah.
Now, give the Giants credit, says Steven. You guys caught us napping in the second half, and we got way too comfortable with our lead. which ended up costing us in the end. Our defense caved and never recovered.
Yeah, that's too bad, Steven.
What you doing over there, Grumpy?
Just rubbing my Giant shirt.
I thought you were, I don't know. I thought you were pulling something up. You got some information for us or something like that.
Nope.
Drew L said,
I'm not allowed to do that on the podcast. I've been informed.
You were over there doing something, Grumpy.
I wasn't doing anything.
Anyway, I'm surprised the warden doesn't help you with refills, Grumpy.
No, the warden, she's in bed already.
She's in bed a long time ago.
She starts work early in the day.
The Mets have a lot of free agents next season, says James. If the Mets bring back their free agents next season, they could be a year away.
They're not afraid to spend money. Not with Steve Cohen.
John M says, "Hey, Modi," which is TJ, raise my glass to you. Keep up the great work. Modi. Thanks, John. Stephen S said, what I don't understand is why the Packers didn't run the ball on that 3rd and 2 in the red zone. Yeah, and then they threw the oh my God. Yikes. It was not awesome blunder.
Rodgers has not looked – he didn't look good against New England. He didn't look particularly good after the first half against Tampa Bay. I don't think he looked great today. I don't know. A lot of the older quarterbacks just falling off a cliff.
Frank K says, for $45 million a year, Scherzer cannot be giving up 4 home runs in playoff games.
I don't think he's making that much, but it's
he's making $45 million a year.
Is it that much? Well, yeah, he's got 2 more years left on his deal. He's good. He just had a bad day. It happens. It happens.
Frank saying today was Jones's best game as a pro, considering all of the injuries.
Yeah, I thought he played really well today.
The Jets versus the Packers next week. Who wins?
Ooh, I'm going to go with the Jets. Why the hell not? I don't think the Packers are that good. I don't think the Packers are that good. Offensively, I don't think they're that good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think the Packers' weapons that can catch the ball. I mean, like Robert Tonyan, even when you look at him, he's a guy who's like he's a middle of the road tight end. Their wide receiver core, I'd argue, is one of the worst 10 wide receiver cores in the NFL. I mean, where'd you put him, Grumpy? Bottom 5, bottom 10?
Yeah. Bottom 10.
Mm-hmm. Stephen S. also says, I want to throw it out there. When you guys knocked us out of field goal range, we lost out on 3 points. It would have been 27-23 coming into our second final drive of the game. Get that touchdown, you win that game. Yeah,
the Giants' defense was really good today.
They're
really well today. I mean, I don't think Rodgers has been great this year. I think the weapons are an issue, but don't put down that the Giants have really done a good job.
Did we answer this one already, Grumpy? Gungun asking who's winning, the Jets or the Packers next week?
I'm going to pick the Jets just because I like the Jets.
I'm picking the Packers, but fair enough. And Alexander saying, no, they're just banged up. That is all, Grumpy.
Every team has injuries.
James F. said, if the Padres win, every road team won the wild card.
Yeah, think about that.
Wow. My gosh. And Drew L. said the Giants sparked a Twitter feed. Worst 4-1 team. I don't care what Twitter says. If they're so bad, beat us then. Stop crying and complaining.
Okay, the Giants are not a 4-1 team, even though your record is what it says it is. But I think Brian Daboll has done a great job coming in there. And I told you that he was going to be an improvement over what they had. They should tank. They shouldn't try to win games. Coaches don't go into a scene and say, yeah, I want to lose games. Particularly first-time head coaches. They don't do that. They want to stay employed.
Yeah. And the players want to stay employed too. Rusty Spooner says here, I don't know who wins between the Jets and the Packers, but the Jets would be foolish to take the Packers would be foolish to take the Jets lightly.
I don't know where that game is. If it's in Lambeau, I'd probably go Packers.
Hold up here for us. Give me a second.
I mean, let's be honest. The Packers are probably a better team than the Jets.
It's in Lambeau.
Yeah, I'd probably say the Packers. Boy, how would you like to be? I mean, I'm going to say the Packers are going to win.
Frank says, TJ, you're clueless. I'm sorry, I love you. But he says Zach Wilson went into the Steelers' house and marched the team for 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter, told the team in the huddle, we're going to score a touchdown. He's still a kid. He's a kid still.
Yep. True.
He's got a long way to go until he's a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, he's got moxie. He's got moxie, though.
He's never going to be a guy who is one of the top tier guys in the league. I think he's a guy who could be a really good and competent quarterback. Are you putting him? I think Zach Wilson could be Patrick Mahomes. I think Zach Wilson could be like a Justin Herbert. I think, right? I don't put him as a top tier. I do not think he'll ever reach that point.
Okay. At the end of the day, I think he could be a top 5 quarterback in the league if he continues on the trajectory. The kid has moxie. He has that certain something, and he's physically gifted. I mean, he's more physically gifted than Kenny Pickett. He's a better runner. He's got a better arm.
He does not have a better arm.
He absolutely does. He absolutely does.
Okay. We'll stick with that. That's fine. We're talking about top 5 quarterbacks in the league. Kenny Pickett's not a top 5 quarterback in the league either.
The biggest drawback for Zach Wilson is playing for the Jets. It tends to suck the talent out of you.
Hear that, all the Jets fans who listen to this show? Grumpy makes a statement. Playing for the Jets just happens to suck all the talent right out of you.
It's done that. I mean, think about it. When was yeah, it is what it is. But the kid is real good.
Alexander says the Dolphins have their top 2 corners out in third string quarterback playing. What do you expect?
Okay.
Not keep up 40 points. It was running the ball. Zach Wilson didn't throw for 300 yards. They ran the ball all over the damn Dolphins. That's what I was shocked by. I was like, where the hell is the run defense? Where's the front 7? I was expecting more. I was expecting more from the front 7 than what I saw today.
The Patriots are playing their third string quarterback against the highest scoring team in the league today. They shut them out. Jared Goff's been really, really good. Yes, DeAndre Swift was out. Yes, Amon St. Brown was dinged up, but still they shut them out. And of course, I think the injury to the Lions player is a big downer for a team. I don't know how you recover from something like that. I think it's really, really difficult emotionally for you. Look at Dan Campbell, was not the same guy on the sidelines for that game.
Brian J says the Dolphins are sinking faster than the Titanic.
Ooh.
He says Barsal looks like he's ready to go this year. He seems more relaxed. Amen to that. Dolphins. Alexander said, with the Dolphins lost today and the Mets just getting embarrassed today, I feel like I've been gut punched.
I told Alexander a couple of weeks ago that he should enjoy things while he could. I hope he took my words of advice, because now reality is coming and reared its ugly head.
Drew L said, okay, I don't know about that, TJ, but let's not ride the Pickett train that early. I'm just saying he can be good. I'm telling you, he's going to be a guy who's a top half of the league quarterback.
Oh my God.
I'm not sure how high the ceiling is. I know where the floor is for that guy, though.
He looks shitty in 2 games, and he's a top. He threw 3 interceptions last week. You thought he was great.
All 3 2 of the 3 interceptions was because wide receivers could not hang on to the fucking ball. Could not make easy routine catches. Make the freaking catch. Can't be dropping shit in your hands. Can't be just tip drill. Boop. Pass it along to the defender. Not much you can do. Alexander says, yep, Bassett is a free agent as well.
He'll get paid. He will get paid.
The Mets are acting like the Wilpons. Cheap, cheap, cheap.
I disagree.
Alexander said, Soto just put this whole game away for good.
That's what good players do.
Oh, man. Bottom of the 9th. Oh, wow. The Mets are down to the last out against Josh Hader. Wow, they're going to get one.
Maybe that could be their saving grace, because he's been terrible this year.
Well, he's got 2 outs already.
Uh-oh.
And nobody on base. So, yeah.
And it's going to be the Dodgers will steamroll the Padres in the next round. Padres are like the little brother to the big brother, the Dodgers. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Yikes.
Braves. It'll be Braves and Dodgers in the NLCS. That's what it'll be.
Okay, let's see here. I'm seeing a whole bunch of comments here. Oh man, yeah, he did have shiny ears. Yeah, I mean that's about it. And Jedi Spooner, yep, said stupid YouTube and ridiculous copyright bullshit. Yeah, they took us down, but we're back. That's all that matters. Thanks guys for letting us know we're back on. I'm thinking there's one more. There's a few more items I wanted to talk about. Grumpy regarding the NFL today. Shit, got to pull up which game it was. You assume as well as I do. We talked a little bit about the Rams earlier. I mean, are they in any sort of jeopardy as to maybe not making the postseason?
The NFC is weak, so I don't think they're in jeopardy yet. But I don't think they're going anywhere, even if they do make the playoffs. I just don't think that. I didn't think they were that good last year. If Todd Bowles hadn't mismanaged the last call of the game against Tampa to let Cooper Kupp get wide open twice in 14 seconds for a field goal, they wouldn't have won the Super Bowl last year. They shouldn't have beat San Francisco. Kid dropped a pass. That would have salted the game away, and they were lucky to beat Cincinnati. I mean, I don't think that they're that great, and I think they're smelling themselves. Like I said, everybody, I'm going to retire. I'm going to come back. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get a big contract. The head coach says he's not going to retire. I was thinking about it. That means you're not focusing on football. So it doesn't matter.
Their upcoming schedule, they play the miserable Carolina Panthers next.
That should be
an easy walkover victory next week. They play then the 49ers, the Buccaneers.
That's a loss.
And then they play the Arizona Cardinals, who have been not great this year.
So they'll be 2-2. Which will mean that after 5 weeks, they'll be, or after 9 weeks, they'll be 4-5. I mean, they can still make the playoffs with that. I don't think the NFC is that great. I just don't. Tampa Bay is probably going to win the next several games as well. So they're going to be right there in the thick of it. New Orleans had a big comeback win today.
The Rams, I'm sorry. The schedule throughout the remainder, they have a freaking tough schedule, man. And I mean, they had a really tough schedule this year. The Panthers are easy. The 49ers are tough. Buccaneers are going to be tough. The Cardinals, I don't know. I don't think much of them. The Saints, that should be a win, right? An easy win game. They play the Chiefs, the Seahawks. That should be a win, ideally. You play the Raiders, the Packers, the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Seahawks again. I don't know. They've got a lot of tough. You look at teams that have a lot of give me games towards the tail end of the season. I don't think we could say that the Rams have a lot of those opportunities.
Okay. I don't think they're repeating. So even if they make it's way too early. I mean, you could say Green Bay, Tampa, Philadelphia.
The Eagles are 5-0, man.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you what, they're not all that either.
Yep.
They're not. What are the four? And so Philadelphia, and who the hell is, and San Francisco. Those 4 teams are going to make it. San Francisco's a good team.
Yes, they are.
They're a good team. And they're better with Garoppolo at quarterback than they are with Trey Lance. So those are probably going to be your 4 division winners. And then you're looking for another 3 wild cards, right? I mean, Minnesota, maybe. Maybe the Giants, who knows, or Dallas.
Dallas. I think yes.
Yeah, Dallas will be a team. And then you're just looking at one other team, right? I mean, who knows?
Yeah, the Titans came out, took care of business against the Commanders today too. I mean, the Titans need to start winning some games. Now they're 3-2 after a poor start to the year. So, they're starting to course direct a little bit. The Bears made it somewhat close against the Vikings. My God, Justin Jefferson put up one of those type of just unbelievable fantasy type of days. I mean, when they get him involved early and often, he's a guy who can really torch a defense. He already had 150 yards receiving or something like that.
He's special.
He really is. And the thing is too, I think in that same game, Kirk Cousins broke the Minnesota Vikings single or most consecutive completion record. I was just I never thought I'd say that either.
No. He's a serviceable quarterback.
Yeah.
He's not great, but he's serviceable.
I'd agree with that. He is serviceable, but that's kind of the extent to what it is. I think he's not. What's the tier above journeyman, or what's the tier above game manager? Because I think he could sometimes he has the games where he can lead a team to a successful drive and win them games. It's not consistent.
He's the bottom of the top half of the quarterbacks in the league.
Yes, I agree with that. Bottom of the top half.
Yeah.
Drew Ellis says the big question is: do the Yankees keep IKF, or do they move on from him and let Peraza play? Also, what does it mean for the future of Gleyber Torres? Do the Yankees trade him soon?
I don't think they're going to make the biggest question is, do they re-sign Judge? Right? Supposedly, the San Francisco Giants want him. They're going after him. As an agent, I mean, I don't think you're going to outbid the Yankees, but at some point in time, if you're the Yankees, you have to say, okay, he's going to be 30 years old. Do we want to give him a 10-year deal? To me, the answer is no. I'd much rather go after a younger guy. That's why I would have traded him for Soto. Maybe you have a little short time, particularly this year, a little bit of a short-term deficit, but in the long run, you're way better. Way better. Do you want to pay Aaron Judge another 10 years when he starts at 30? I don't. Big guys break down. They just do.
Did you watch, by the way, how the Jags lost today?
I did not watch that game.
Dude, Lawrence was throwing unbelievably stupid. He throws it interceptions in the end zone. They just they just cannot catch. They could not get out of their own way. And it's like they had some players that are playing, like ETN gets off to a great start. 10 rushes, 71 yards, but they kept feeding James Robinson the ball. It's just like, I don't know. They don't do a great job of riding the hot hand. I mean, like, it's not going to be something where overnight they turn things around. But today was a game where I really was shocked. I was kind of tuning in and out. I was shocked the Jags found a way to lose today.
In the long run, they're a better team when they're mixing and matching Robinson and Etienne. In the long run. Not the case today, though.
10 rushes, 71 yards for ETN, and you couldn't manage to get him more than 10 rushes?
Well, they should have alternated them, sprinkled back and forth.
ETN started off the game 20-yard rush here, 10-yard rush, 10-yard. He was just off to a good start, and he's playing good. But
he's not a real physical back. That's what Robinson is.
Okay. Well, you don't need to have a real physical back.
Okay, but James Robinson's been really good for them this year and previous years.
It's because they feed him the ball every opportunity they get. They have it. Here's the thing: James Robinson is he's a freaking UFA signing. I think he was an unrestricted free agent that joined the team, and the talent isn't there, right? Everybody loves the stories of the Phillip Lindsays and the James Robinsons and shit like that, but it doesn't work, right? He's not Priest Holmes, right? Priest Holmes is the best ever unrestricted free agent running back that was ever signed. He's not Priest Holmes. He's another Phillip Lindsay. He should be a backup guy who gets occasional carries every once in a while. You have to use the guys who have the best overall talent.
Travis Etienne reminds me of DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
When DeAndre Swift is getting too many touches, running in between the tackles, he tends to get banged up. Same thing with Etienne.
Okay. DeAndre Swift is a guy who had last year, he could do 25, 30 carries a game, and he could still do that. Etienne's getting 10 carries a game. Your job is to win freaking games. And Etienne's a lot bigger than DeAndre Swift, height and size-wise.
He wasn't getting that many carries a game, Swift. He was getting that many touches. He was catching a lot of passes out of the backfield. But for the running between the tackles, they use Jamal Williams for the most part. That's the same blueprint that Jacksonville's using. I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm surprised they don't throw the ball more to Etienne. He's better in space.
Well, it's because they run it like, okay, DeAndre Swift is 5'9". Travis Etienne's 5'11". Again, like, he's a lot heavier too. Like, there's a difference. He could take more wear and tear on his body. I'm just saying, when you draft guys with first-round running backs with a first-round pick, you have to freaking use them. I mean, like,
wasn't he a second rounder?
Was he a second? I thought he was a first-round pick. I thought they traded up in the first round to get him.
Okay, I thought he was. It doesn't matter. He's highly regarded running back. Just
25th overall pick. The Jags picked him up.
Okay.
I know it was under the Urban Meyer regime, but still, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good back. I'm not saying he's not a good back, but James Robinson's a good back as well. I think you're underselling him a little bit. I think he's a good back as well.
You have to ride the hot hand. If James Robinson's pounding out 20, 30-yard, boom, keep him running. You know what I mean? Ride the hot hand. They stifled all that. And I think ETN had like the majority of his carries within the first quarter. He had like 7 carries in the first quarter. Had 3 carries the next 3 quarters. That's not good enough game management, in my opinion. Not good enough play call.
Was he catching passes, though? It's just getting the ball. It doesn't have to be a run. Is he catching passes out of the backfield? As long as he's getting touches, he's more explosive than James Robinson for certain.
He had 2 catches in the first quarter. He had 1 catch. So he had 7 carries in the first quarter, 2 receptions. The remaining half of the game, 1 catch, 3 rushes.
Maybe he got dinged up. I don't know. I didn't watch the game.
I watched the game. I was kind of like flipping through. I was doing that where you could split them up on all the screens. I'm like, why the hell are they not giving the ball to? That was a game that I was just truly shocked that they found a way to lose in. But I mean, like, again, like the Jags still have hope. The silver lining is, even though with those that terrible interception there by Trevor Lawrence, they still did a hell of a job finding a way there to continue to, show that we're not as offensively anemic as we were in the past. We still are able to gain yards. We just could not finish drives. It's like, there are silver linings to it with a young team like that, but in a whole, right? I mean, like the Bucs today, they let the Falcons come back in, but the running game seems to be the biggest issues for the Buccaneers this year. Wouldn't you say, Grumpy?
Yeah, their interior offensive line is just bad. Rookie left guard, terrible. Center, a step above terrible. Shaq Mason doesn't seem like he's anything close to what he was in New England. They're trouble. There's just trouble in the middle of the field for them in the offensive line. They miss Gronk desperately. The Otten kid came out and played. Actually, had a career game for him at tight end this week. Brady was spreading the ball around. That's what they have to do. Maybe Brady went with Leftwich and said, "Hey, dumbass, we need to spread the ball. We need to run quick routes. None of this bomb shit that you like to run. Maybe we need to do some of that." I mean, when Brady is at his best, he's zipping the ball, this guy, that guy, everybody, keeping everybody off guard. That's when he's at his best.
Gungun says, if you would have told me a week or 2 days ago that I'd have to rely upon the Jets and the Islanders to lift my spirits after this doo-doo ending to the Mets season, I would have thought you were severely pulling my leg.
Well, we would never want to pull your leg.
Unfortunately, Gungun, that's the case. And the Mets, I don't know if I think the game's officially over, but let me check.
It is over. They lost 6-0.
Oh, the Mets weren't able to put their rally caps on. They come back. 1 freaking hit today.
Very disappointing for Mets fans.
Disappointing. Absolutely. Stephen S. says, by the way, how much money in draft picks do you guys want from us to take Judge off your hands? We are desperately in need for an offensive weapon on the Brew Crew.
They can't trade him now. He's an unrestricted free agent. Anyone can sign him.
Wouldn't it be great if the Mets signed him?
The Giants came out and said that they're going to make a concerted effort to sign him and somebody else.
Wouldn't it be great if the Mets signed Aaron Judge?
We know he can play in New York.
I was about to say, you don't have to worry about him having issues there.
I'll tell you what, that would be great for New York baseball.
Oh, yeah, I think so, too. The rivalry, too, that would be there. Drew L. said, because eventually, Anthony Volpe will play, too. Has to play.
We'll see. Everyone says how great he is. If he's that great, he'd already be playing.
Frank says, Zach can be a top-tier quarterback in a few years, dude. He had an 80-yard touchdown run last year. Has Mahomes done that? I'll guess no. Not saying he's Mahomes, but he's got a cannon, TJ.
He has the potential to be a top-level quarterback without a doubt. And he has that swagger. He has that Joe Burrow swagger.
I think he's got the mentality. Here's the thing. If I'm putting my confidence rating is, can this guy be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL? It's not there, right? I could tell you pretty Grumpy. Here's the thing. When I'm saying, and it's going to just, as time continues, I'm going to look more and more like Grumpstradamus, except regarding football, Grumpy. I told you years in advance, Baker Mayfield, not that. I told you, I'm telling you now, and I'll tell you again, Kyler Murray, not the answer. I told you, and I'll tell you again, Kenny Pickett will be a successful quarterback in the league, will be a top half of the league quarterback. And I'm telling you now, Zach Wilson, I think, has good upside, but top 5, I'm not sure.
So you're not going out on a limb on him. You're just saying you're not sure. Okay. Okay, way to go out on the limb there.
What do they say? What do they
Defense
say on the
liner.
8 ball? What do they say on the 8 ball?
I don't know.
Outcome is questionable.
Okay. You said you made a proclamation on one guy, a proclamation on another. This guy's proclamation is I'm not.
Probably
I don't
not.
know.
Probably not.
That's not what you said. You said I don't know. That's what you said. I don't know.
James F says they showed DeGrom and Scherzer on the screen together. And David. Avine said, nice knowing you. Oh, God. Rusty Spooner said Josh Allen was garbage until his third year. Then he turned into what's happening now. TJ is wrong about Zach Wall Street Wilson.
I feel the only thing that bothers me about Zach Wilson, he plays for Jets, and they find ways to mess things up. They just do historically. Who was the first guy on the Josh Allen train from before the draft? TJ.
Grumpy was.
Absolutely. I remember they're friends of mine who are Buffalo fans, and they're like, he sucks. I'm like, dude, he's the real deal. He's going to need a little bit of time. He played at freaking Wyoming. Here's the thing. Zach played at freaking BYU, and he was only a starter for a year, right? Was it a year and a couple games?
Longer than that. I think it was like 2 years.
Okay. But here's the thing. It's not like he was extensively the starter there. He really came on hot at the end. He has that ability. I'm not saying he's going to be Josh Allen, who's phenomenal, by the way.
He is.
But Zach Wilson has the ability to be a really, really good quarterback. I don't know if it's going to happen or not. They put the weapons around him. Can they get the offensive line in front of him? They have the running backs. They have the wide receivers. That piece of shit Conklin, 0 points in fantasy. I don't know what they got in him. Obviously, he disappointed me today. But the offensive line, that's the key for the Jets.
Frank says, TJ knows Zach Wilson like he does classic movies.
Oh,
God.
You don't know
Frank also saying you got to keep Judge after this year. Their penny pitching accountant will have to pay $45 million. Could have had him way cheaper. Yeah.
There's no way I'd sign him to $45 million a year. I'm sorry. I'm not. Let him go somewhere else. He's 30. He's 30. He's 30 years old. He just came off a career year. No. He's going to want a 10-year deal. If he says 5-year deal, okay, I'm willing for that. 10 years? Absolutely not. Bye.
Gungun says, Grumpy, let's see if you can explain to TJ what made Andy Kaufman so unique and unpredictable as a performer.
Do you know anything about Andy Kaufman?
Yeah, he'd go up there and do crazy shit. He would like just flip the script on everything. I'm familiar.
Okay. He had an alter ego, Tony Clifton, where he would sing and be like an obnoxious lounge singer. And that was Andy Kaufman. He wrestled Jerry Lawler.
I used to wrestle a whole bunch of women. Yeah.
He was right. He declared himself the intergender champion. And he would, pin women. And then he wound up wrestling Jerry Lawler down in the Memphis territory. And it was big news, but he liked to keep everyone confused with his humor. He wasn't just, hey, I'm just going to stand up there and tell jokes.
Yeah, no.
That was not Andy Kaufman.
He just disappeared one day too, didn't he?
He died. He's dead.
Disappeared.
Yeah, he died. I think he was 31 years old, died of cancer. And he never smoked, didn't, he was a health nut. And just crazy. He was as a comic, he was funny. I enjoyed watching him. He was good. He was good. Hated playing Latka on Taxi. Latka Gravis on Taxi. Hated that role. But he was really funny. He was really funny. And you never knew what you got from him. He would go and do like stand-up, and just his stand-up would be he would read like a book of, like one of the classics. And that would be his act for the day. And people would get pissed off and stuff like that. It's almost like he was trying to make a joke on the audience as opposed to telling jokes for the audience.
So we got here, James F says, TJ, can you put the video up of what Deion Sanders said when he greeted the other coach when the game was over? Now, you'd sent me a few items about this, Grumpy. I'm going to show the video. I'm going to have you explain kind of what's going on here. I'll show the post-game interview as well. So Deion Sanders coaches at Jackson State, and I'll let you go ahead and weigh in on this, Grumpy.
And before you let it roll, Eddie Robinson Sr., Jr., he's the son of Eddie Robinson, who was a legendary head coach at Grambling University.
Yeah, another HBCU school.
So Eddie Robinson Jr. just rode, he's like the Fredo Lamarillo in this story. He just rode the coattails of the dad into college football to being a coach. That's what I want. That's what okay. So here we go.
So this is like the little tiny thing up. Man, I tell you, Deion with
the lip.
Oh, he's got that toe amputated, man.
Got a little hitch in his giddy up there. Oh, boop. He don't want to talk to him. Did a little blow. Whoa, what the hell?
I don't know why everybody's making a big freaking deal out of that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he's unhappy. And after the game, Eddie Robinson Jr. said he's not I don't know. They say historically.
The SWAC, the SWAC is what it is, I believe.
Yeah, I am. I'm like, dude, you're not either. Your dad was.
You rode. He's being up front is just like I thought it was a lot of disrespect the whole week, and so you're not going to be disrespectful the whole week in the media. We didn't talk in the pregame. I was out there the whole time at the 50-yard line. He walked through our whole our whole huddle on our end zone. And came a long way around and get to his side of the field in the pregame. Thought that wasn't classy at all. And so in the postgame, I'm not about to give you the Obama bro. I'm going to shake your hand. I'm going to go on. I'm going to always be respectful and respect the game. You got the great guys, W.C. Gordon, Eddie G. Robinson, those guys, Reno Chasm. I'm living on the shoulders of the SWAC. He ain't SWAC. I'm SWAC. He ain't SWAC. So he's in the conference doing a great job. Can't knock that. Got a great team. Son should be up for the Heisman Trophy winner. I love Shador. Great player. I love what he's doing for the conference. Probably one of the best things we had since that Steve McNair when he was in there. Love all of that. But you're not going to come here and disrespect me and my team and my school and then want to bro hug. Shake my hand and get the hell on. Period. You got the W. Great job. I hope he comes back next year. I pray he don't get a Power 5 job so we can play them next year in Jackson. And I pray they put us for their damn homecoming.
So it was the homecoming for Alabama State. And they got destroyed, and obviously, coach is a little upset about that.
Yeah, and I guess he didn't like that he walked through their.
I don't know. He was walking around pregame, and the players were shit talking him, saying "F you N-word," and it was like, "Pep." And I said, "Okay, fair enough." And aren't they? Everybody's just kind of like talking shit to Deion Sanders. Here's the thing: I'm like, what do you think like shit talking Deion Sanders is going to do? like on the serious, he's the coach. He's the best shit talker of all time. Like that,
he should wear his rings. Just go,
just be like, hey, buddy, you dream of even having a fraction of the success I did here, kid.
Do you think this is Eddie Robinson Jr. trying to make himself relevant or seem like a tough guy here?
Yes.
It's
like one of those things where it's like, he disrespected me, man. I can't believe he disrespected me. I'm going to show him what's up.
I can't say that I know what they said during the week or if he was smack talking them. I guess Deion has turned that team around like toot sweet.
But he's gotten great recruits. He's done a good job there. I mean, hell, dude, he's prime time.
That's what I said. And that's what I said. He's going to be able to get recruits. I said that when he was hired. And you said, why would a kid go there? Because he's working with Deion Sanders.
I still don't think as a top tier recruit, you should go play for that school.
Well, here's the thing. If you have talent and he's still connected with the league, absolutely is. A good word from him is better than a good word from Eddie Robinson Jr. It just carries more.
A good word from him is not a good word from Nick Saban. It's not a good word from Dabo Sweeney. It's not a good word from Ryan Day. He coaches at a freaking small Division I school.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
They don't play anybody. They play all HBCU schools. The level of competition is not that of your Alabamas, Ohio States, Notre Dames. It's just not. Sorry.
It's true. It's true. But that's why his cachet being in that conference means something more
It
because
does. It's great for the conference. It's
Yeah.
great for him. It's like that's why when he's shit talking Deion Sanders, I'm like, dude, he's done so many good things for that conference just by associating with that conference. And I'm like, you're over here pitching a fit. I'm like, shut the hell up and be thankful that you get to play against Deion Sanders.
I feel bad for that conference, like the sport historically black conference,
Why?
because when I was a kid, every year they would play Grambling against Morgan State every year on Channel 11, and those teams were really good. And now it's like the black athletes don't want to go to those schools because they can go to the Alabama. And I understand why, but it's kind of a shame because they really play. Yeah, I know it's about money, but I mean, they used to play some really, really good football in the day. It's just not the case anymore.
Good.
It's just a shame. I mean, I always loved watching Grambling Morgan State. I'd watch it every freaking year. I didn't even know when I was a kid watching that they were just two historically black schools. I had no idea. I'm just like, oh man, Grambling and Morgan State, got to watch that.
All of these big schools can pay. And here's the thing, it's going to continue that way because the big schools before the NIL came around, they were already paying their players. And the big schools with large endowments could pay their players more than smaller schools with smaller endowments. It's why the schools that are like the Rutgers and the Kansases, you're not going to ever compete with the really top tier teams of your conference because the really good teams, the Ohio States, the Michigans, they all have unbelievable endowments, unbelievable donors, and they pay all those players way more money than you can, so you cannot compete. It's that simple.
Okay. I mean, I understand, but he managed to pay some player big money this year.
Travis Hunter, yeah. So,
I mean, maybe that's kind of
because he's prime time, man. He's connected, just as you said. It was the rumor was it was with Barstool Sports. They said, "Oh no, we didn't do that." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sure you didn't."
But see, that's what happens when you bring a figure like Deion Sanders in there, and hopefully,
the amount of clicks that Barstool Sports got and the attention they got from even being connected as the rumor of this was worth more than $1 million worth of advertising.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but that's what happens. That's what happens when you have a guy who has a cachet like Deion has. That they were able to bring in players that Eddie Robinson Jr. just not able to bring in.
He won't be there long term.
Yeah, he'll go maybe well, here's the thing.
I think he's going to want to go to Florida State.
Is he really that good a coach? I don't know.
Or is he able to get some really, really talented players that would be some of the best players on Alabama, and he's able to beat up and clean up against HBCU schools with top tier players?
I've always viewed him as kind of a goof. So maybe, and I hope I'm wrong. I hope
he's a great coach. I think he can really relate with the players well. And I think he gets them all moving in the same direction. I cannot tell. I've not watched a single Jackson State University game.
Yeah, I haven't either.
So I couldn't really tell you how he is as a coach. I know he used to coach those high school recruits games, and he would always do him and Ed Reed, and they'd always do a good job. Both of them were very good coaches each other. So I mean, you only had like a week to train these kids and to get everything put in the system. But I couldn't tell you too much about him as a coach. But this was him apparently causing an issue in pregame warmups. This is the issue that Eddie went ahead and complained about.
Oh, Okay, looks like he's avoiding anyone. I don't know why he's stretching.
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
And this is what he releases, like, they'll never let it change him. I'm like, I don't know. It just seems like a whole lot of nothing, a whole lot of something out of nothing.
I don't know what he did that was so bad.
He walked by them as they're warming up. And that made him angry.
But he didn't engage with anyone.
Correct.
He was doing the little stretching things a couple of times. I don't know why he was doing that.
He was warming up, baby. He's getting ready. Prime time's ready to come back in.
But he didn't confront anyone. Didn't even say hello. I'm sure people were saying hello. He was getting booed. He just ignored them. I find it hard to fault Deion Sanders there.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Should he have gone? What direction should he have gone?
He should have walked up the other side and cut halfway across the field, and maybe he would have gone ahead and interrupted the quarterbacks and wide receivers. But it
didn't look like the way Eddie Robinson Jr. made it sound was like he cut through all the players and started talking smack to them. I didn't see that. Didn't say
a word. Stephen S. said, I got the Eagles and the Seahawks winning the division. Seattle is a bold pick, but I'm gambling on them being an underdog team to win the NFC West. I'm not predicting who wins the NFC North. Not jinxing it.
Vikings.
Oh, I'm sure he's predicting that. Oh, God. Frank says, after Zach had relations with his mom's MILF best friend, he's been the man. That's why I like older women. Laughing my ass off, he says. James F. said, same old Mets. Now it's time for Big Brother in New York to take control of the playoffs.
Let me tell you something. The Yankees are not getting to the World Series. It's going to be Houston and probably the Dodgers.
Gungun says Trevor Lawrence or Zach Wilson. Trevor Lawrence. Not even close. Trevor Lawrence. Trevor fucking Lawrence. Tell me you're not even debating that.
I want to say that I think their talent level is comparable. Again, the biggest issue with both of them are the teams they're with. That's the variable. It's the teams. It's not just talent level. It's what organization. And like I said, if you would ask me last year, after watching Trevor Lawrence under Urban Meyer, I would say Zach Wilson. Yeah. Now under Doug Peterson, it looks like Trevor Lawrence, right? They're going to have up and downs, both of them, right? I mean, Zach Wilson played how many games last year? He got hurt, missed the first number of games this year. Can he stay healthy for a full year? Like what I've seen from him the first 2 games, the kid's got moxie.
Frank says Zach by a mile.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry. Okay. I'm going Trevor Lawrence. Gungun says Beatles or the Stones. I'm going to Beatles.
I'm going with the Beatles too. I always like the Beatles.
Zeppelin over the Stones for me too, he says.
Yeah, Zeppelin.
Beatles. Yellow Submarine is a classic for me, though. I have Huey Lewis in the News on top, just below Queen, as one of the best musical bands of all time.
Oh, yeah. I enjoyed Huey Lewis and News. They're nowhere near the top of the best bands for me.
Mm-hmm.
Queen was okay.
Dion looking like Stevie Wonder. Got the glasses up, looking at the sun. I'm just half expecting him to start singing Georgia while driving off into the sunset.
I don't know why he gets a bad rep on that. I don't think he did anything wrong there. What else could he? Maybe he could have walked along the goal line as opposed to going along, the wall. But I think you make more of I don't know. I think he was trying to be so don't look at me that I don't know. I don't know. I find it hard to blame him on that.
Drill said,
can I say one more thing? Deion Sanders is great for that league, for that conference.
Oh, yeah.
He's great for that.
He's great for that conference. Absolutely. Drill says, I'll say this. Did Christian Kirk return back to earth or something? He's been absolutely invisible the last 2 weeks.
I think it's a combination of things, right? You got Travis Etienne back from injury. They're trying to figure out how to work him and Robinson in the same backfield. I'm stunned they lost to Houston. Stunned they lost to Houston.
Frank saying, TJ, Zach does stuff already that Trevor dreams of.
Oh,
What a film saying, hi, Grumpy, TJ, how you doing? How you just doing? Doing well. How about you? And he says, this is for Grumpy. How about them Cowboys?
4-1. 4-1. The only team they couldn't beat. They couldn't be the greatest of all time.
But Grumpy, man, we're here at the end of the show today. What do you want to say before we wrap things up?
I want to say love and laughter to everyone who listens and even those who don't, from TJ and the Grumpy Old Man.
Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning into the show and listening. Again, we always appreciate your support. You guys chiming in, talking anything and everything sports. Again, if you like the show, make sure to leave a thumbs up. And we'll see you guys here this Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, have a great start to your week. And thank you again, Grumpy.
My pleasure.